up and crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 980. The two Dum Yinzers. I want to say to everybody today, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It's becoming hot. It's becoming hot. I got the fan running in the studio, Mike. I don't know if you could hear it. I apologize if you do, but I got to be honest with you. There's no other options right now. I'm not going to sit here and sweat for a couple hours. It is hot. How things down in your studio, man?
It's hot. I got my fan going. I got my ceiling fan going. I got a little light up little fan behind me going too. So Big Sexy's nice and cool. But yeah, I'm like you. I'm not gonna sweat. I already sweat today at work. From the minute I walked into that building until I left, I was dripping in sweat.
Yeah, it's what I mean. I could hear it through my own ears. I could hear the fan, but you know what? As I said, it's not. I don't think it's disruptive. Anybody comes along and says it's disruptive, I'll certainly make the necessary adjustments. But as of right now, Mike, the fan is going to be a go for today. I just I got extra wad of toilet paper in my pocket in case I have to start wiping at my face. It's getting hot, guys. It's already 81 degrees here in Western Pennsylvania. It's going to be in the mid to high 80s all week long. So we're getting used to that here. But welcome back. Good morning, Mike. It is, in fact, hump day.
No, I said hump everything. What? Too much.
I just wanted to say happy hump day. Happy hump day to you. Welcome to John on the board. Dude, my man JD in the house. Always great seeing JD. JD's pumped up. I know that because today is June 10th. Mike, June 10th. That means we're almost halfway through June already, if you can believe it. Here we are, June 10, guys, as OTAs will be wrapping up this week, but there'll be a little bit more extended onto that. I'll talk to that about that here shortly. And also other scoop going on around the burg, Mike. OTAs this week, Monday, Tuesday. They're off today. They'll be back tomorrow and Friday to wrap up the OTA program, Mike. But the rookies are coming back next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, as Mike McCarthy put together what is called Rookie School. Rookie School is next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, to get individual work in with the rookies on the team, Mike, as OTAs do wrap up on Friday. Rookies will be back next week to do some individual things, which is always a good thing, getting people working on things they need to work on. So that is coming up, Mike, OTAs, and then rookie school. And then after that, Mike, we will be heading to camp in a little over a month. So we're that close, guys. It's really close. I do want to say also good morning to my man all the way from Sacramento, California, Tortilla Jackson in the house. Everybody, happy MVS Day. What's up, brother? Always great seeing Tortilla. You know what, Mike? I'm this close. We're this close. I just have to look at the timeline because I don't remember exactly. I think Tortilla slid in a little bit before the guys from the Steeler gang, but Tortilla is going to have to start getting some kind of recognition on the show, Mike. He has been MVP caliber on this board for quite some time. I just got to kind of look back at the timing on everything because for some reason I think Tortilla was here a short bit before the other guys hopped over. And if he was, I'm going to give him some kind of special recognition. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but it's going to be special because Tortilla has been very, very strong on the board, Mike, for such a long time. He deserves the accolades.
Yeah, Tortilla has been like the Dennis Rodman of the board, strong on the boards. And yes, Tortilla was here before the rest of the fellas came over from Steeler Gang and some of the guys who came on later in the season as well. Because I remember we were talking to Tortilla because we were like, is it Tortilla? Is it Torsha? Do you know how to spell Tortilla? Are you mentally well to where you can spell tortilla? In that last one, we figured out, no, Tortilla is not mentally well enough, mentally capable enough to spell tortilla. And that's why we love Tortilla. And that's why Tortilla has moved back into number one on Mike's friends list.
All right, there you go, Tortilla. So we're thinking about you, man. You know what? As a matter of fact, people think would be nuts if they didn't think we thought about them. It's insane what you guys mean to the show, guys. You really, truly, honestly do. Even the next guy on the list, Mike, I want to take a moment to say good afternoon, good evening to Tater all the way across the pond. Tater has become somewhat of a fixture himself, Mike. So I do always have to make sure we give a little bit of respect to the old Tater Tard because, Mike, he went from being a Browns fan to a 49ers fan. And I don't know, in some weird way, I think that's a step in the right direction. So welcome to Tater. Welcome to Tortilla. Welcome to Dude. Everybody on the board, guys. Welcome. Great seeing you, gang. Haven't read a book since 09. You got me beat by about 25 years. But you know what? At the end of the day, guys, welcome to you. A lot to get into today, Mike. Of course, Steeler OTAs all halfway over this week. Monday, Tuesday, they did have them. They're off today. They'll be back at it Thursday, Friday to wrap up OTAs. Next week, the rookies will be back Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for the new Mike McCarthy Rookie School. So a lot going on here at camp. A lot of things are looking positive. I got to be honest with you. I don't feel how you know what? I tried to take myself out of it, Mike, and look at everything is maybe people outside of the Steeler Nation look at it. Mm-hmm. An understanding and a feeling of how we may look this year. And I got to be honest with you, I can't possibly, listen, I've been watching football for some time. I'm not a dummy. I can't possibly see how people could think that we're not going to be any better than we were last year when we nailed on some big pieces, some big gaping holes this offseason. So at the end of the day, Mike, I guess just going to be like all the rest of the years, just have to wait it out, see what the Steelers do. I think they win a game or two in the playoffs this year. I'm going to be honest with you. So that's just me. A lot going on. And I think there's a lot that indicates that this team should be okay. And on top of that, Mike, I mean, within the division, there's a lot of problems. Baltimore's acknowledging that they really have a lot of work to do to get that defense fixed. And that's huge because their defense being poor played to our advantage big time, certainly twice last year. And again, Mike, within the division, this team falling to 1-5 as they start off their season last year. We'll see if the Ravens can improve. And again, like those orange teams from Ohio, they just do what they do all the time. So the best thing that we could do is go out, do what the Steelers do best, play good football, find ways to win. And I think that's going to happen this year for our Steelers.
Yeah, I do too. And you're talking about Baltimore. They got a new coach. A lot of their star guys, like they're at OTAs, but, they're not participating due to like injury or illness. And we've had like full participation every day, even like in the voluntary stuff. Like it's been close to like 100% every time. I think the last day of OTAs, a lot of the veterans took that time off. McCarthy told them, hey, you guys have earned this time, take it off. A handful showed up and a handful did and a handful like didn't practice, but were in their running stuff with players. You're not seeing that from these other teams.
No, you're
Guys
not.
are missing. Guys are retiring up in Cleveland. They're like, whew,
Yeah,
see
we
what
just
I got
mentioned
with
him.
I like help.
Like, and we just mentioned Joe Patonio last
Right.
week. We said there's a
Yeah.
guy that's still out there, obviously not out there anymore because he retired.
Yeah.
But Mike, this is going to play heavily into one of our main topics today. So I'm going to set it aside for just a second and get over a couple things here. Mike, our Buccos, they lose to the Dodgers 12-3. Another bullpen disaster as Paul Skeens throws a good game, has them in the game when he leaves, and yet the bullpen, Mike, another disaster. Pirates fall 12-3. They're down 0-1 in the series, mainly because of the bullpen. They'll be back at it today at 6:40 for game 2 of 3 against the Dodgers. You got to remember last year the Dodgers came in with a good record. They were looking good, and we swept them in this particular series. I don't think that's going to happen this time, Mike. But one interesting fact I do want to say, because we are playing Ohtani and the Dodgers, there's only been one player ever to hit multiple home runs off of Ohtani in a game when he was pitching, Mike, in the whole entire league ever. And it was Henry Davis. Henry Davis is the only player ever to hit multiple home runs off of Ohtani in a single game. So if that surprises you, you're not quite a Pirate fan, because again, you got to understand Pirates only do weird shit. They only do weird shit.
Yes,
the way that it is.
I like it. This is like no disrespect to Henry Davis. You're the top 1% of all baseball players. You're number one draft pick, but in the history of baseball, when we look back and go through Ohtani's career and we see that stat, if it holds true, people are gonna be like, "Who the fuck it was that guy?"
Yeah,
like, who was he? And you look at the players Ohtani is one up against, like, not him, this fucking guy. This is why I love the Buccos, because we do stupid shit like this.
Every year,
we make history in weird ways.
This is how the Pirates stay relevant, Mike. They make history in weird ways. Let me jump on the board. I'm seeing people walk in the door. I do want to say gang to my man Tortilla in the house, baby. You are the big dog. We have a handful of big dogs on the terrible board, but Tortilla, I'm working on a way to recognize you, sir. I promise you, all the way from Sacramento, California. That's Tortilla Jackson. Tortilla said he hasn't read the book since 2009. Let's go here to Just Learning. He says that the Bucks don't sign Baker, we might go after him. And you know what? This is something that I've been heavy on. And I told Mike, I want this. I would do this right now. Listen, I understand his whole contract and blah, 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 the time. But if I could do it, I would do it right now. I would bring Baker Mayfield here. Listen, we'll get into that a little bit more as the show goes on. I think right now it sounds like a great idea, but again, we'll talk about it. We'll see the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows here in a moment. I do want to say what's up to Swaggy McNolegs. He says Brooks was here. I do want to say welcome to Swaggy McNolegs. Great to see you on the terrible board. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here, Mike, as we do bleed a little bit into some of the other things going on here in our country. The NBA playoffs. The New York Knicks up 2-1 as the Spurs did win the other night. Game 4 of this NBA Finals series, Mike, is tonight at Madison Square Garden. It's an 8:30 start. Game 4, Spurs down 2-1, Mike. They could tie this up, or the Knicks could give themselves a pretty sizely lead going into the next game. So big game tonight at MSG, Mike. Your Spurs, my Knicks. It's on like Donkey Kong tonight. That's an 8:30 start.
Let's go Spurs. Wemby, I embrace your villain streak. The refs ain't going to protect you. The guys are going to beat you up. You just start going out there and playing some bully basketball, lay down some dominance, and just show the Knicks you aren't going to be pushed around. Let's go, Wemby.
All right, and finally, Mike, in the NHL, they played last night. This game ended in a Canes 5-3 victory over Vegas. Of course, Canes is your team. The Knights is my team in this series. This series is tied up 2 games apiece. They'll be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock for Game 5 at Carolina. This is going to end up being a pretty good series, Mike. If you're sitting at 2-2 after 4 games, you're at least going 6, so there's a chance it could go 7. This looks like it's going to be a pretty good series, and you know what? I think that's good for hockey. Always, Mike. Any of these sports that are not at the top, you got to have a nice playoff run, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be the WNBA and having teams sweep other teams out of the finals. So if you're not the top dog like the NHL or the NFL, I'm sorry, I like to see the playoffs really get expanded, give people more opportunity to sit down and watch the games, watch the teams, and see everything involved. So again, good series going on there, Mike. 2 games apiece tomorrow. Game 5, 8 o'clock.
And every single game in this series has been insane.
It really has.
It's
Some
been,
overtime, some double overtimes.
God, yeah. Jordan Stahl, man, Stahlsies is playing out of his mind right now. Penguin draft pick years ago. I think in the first Cup run that we lost to Carolina or to Detroit. It's nice to see him at the tail end of his career going out and getting a cup of his own. I hope they can pull it off just for Stalls.
That's crazy. It's been that long.
I know.
Because that was
Like,
08.
Yeah, he was he was an 18-year-old kid that year.
Yeah.
And now look at him in the twilight of his career, a captain of his own team.
And speaking
Sports
of hockey,
are beautiful
here in Pittsburgh, Mike, if you were interested in being part of the ice crew for the Pittsburgh Penguins, most of them are girls, but you know what? There's guys too. The girls wear the leggings. They go out, they skate around the shovel in between periods and breaks and shovel up the slush at the corners. Mike, you could now try out Saturday, August 1st to be part of the ice crew for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So that is out there as well. If you're interested in anything like that, Mike, August 1st, Pittsburgh Penguins ice crew. Yinzers on ice, as Tortilla saying. Also,
so we send Derpy down.
Let's go to Tortilla. Tortilla says, I wonder what Baker's price is if the Bucks aren't willing to re-sign him. Corey, what's going on, bro? Always great seeing Corey Beavers, my man from the Don't Drink That podcast right here on YouTube. It's a conspiracy theory podcast. If you're in conspiracy theories, do check him out. Everything from the Epstein files to aliens to anything that you could think of. He got mad content over there at Don't Drink That. Go check Corey out right here on YouTube. Mike, a lot of things to get into today about our black and gold. Of course, the OTAs, they do continue tomorrow and Friday. They're off today. And then again, the rookies will be back next week for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for new Coach McCarthy rookie school next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Everybody else is going home. Everybody else is going maybe home to work with other people. We're going to talk about that here shortly as well. Some of the guys have planned to get together in this period and work together and do some things apart from the team. So we should be expecting that soon as well, guys. But OTA does go through the rest of this week. We'll wrap up on Friday for the year. Again, then rookie school next week. And then after that, it's time to get into it. We got camp next month. We have preseason games here in about 60 days. And also we're about Keeanu Benton days away, Mike, from kicking the season off for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 95 days, I do believe it is, until the Steelers do kick off the regular season. So it won't be long now.
It's going to be right around the corner because we talked about last week how, oh my God, we had the 100-day countdown to the draft and it got here so quick.
Yeah, here we are mid-June.
Yeah, it's going to be here soon, boys.
So let's say what's up to everybody. Tortilla says, bro, after you told me about your video idea, I started getting YouTube reels about it. Don't drink that. They're watching you. Be careful, bro. Here's one thing real quick, Mike. Just because of this comment, it made me think, you never get that little indicator down in the bottom of your screen that whatever you're looking at, it's being used for location.
Yeah.
That little eyeball that pops up. Now I've been fucking with it a lot lately. Like I'll stick my tongue out or flip the camera off, or I'll run my mouse cursor over the little logo. Mike, it almost disappears almost instantly every single time I react to that little thing being on there. How can you tell me that it's being used for location purposes? It can be on for 10 minutes. As soon as I look up and start making any kind of recognition that it's there, or if I start running over with my cursor, it disappears anytime. Do you know anything about this that maybe I don't know?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
And I've been watching this really close because every time I'm doing work on the computer or anything in the evening, it'll pop up. I make a point to make sure I react to it every single time, Mike. And every single time it goes away almost instantly whenever I do show any recognition. So again, I don't know. Maybe they are constantly watching us. Maybe the computers are. I'm sure they are. But there you go. Let's go right here to Somber in the house. Bleep, bloop, bleep. Big dog, baby. What's up, Somber? All the way from Los Angeles, California. Great seeing you, bro. Indio, California. Tortilla says, Rudy trying to get dirt on us. And finally, Corey said, don't drink that, says they were watching me no matter what. That's right, baby. Hey, if they ain't watching you, you're not doing it right. I do want to say what's up to Happy J2F7B. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Terrible Board. Great to have you here. Hope everything's going well for you on this hump day. Happy hump day. Guys, as we get into some black and gold talk, that's right. It's time for some Pittsburgh Steelers talk, Mike. It's time. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
A couple things that caught my attention as I was looking for content this morning, Mike. Two of the things that caught my attention, one being about Keeanu Benton's contract. Now, of course, this was one of the contracts that we had to get taken care of, one of the extensions that we were looking to take care of in this offseason. Of course, they take care of Darnell Washington. Of course, they take care of Nick Herbig. And now we're sitting around waiting on her, and we're waiting on Benton, and we're waiting on, of course, JPJ. So I'm reading a little bit this morning, and from what I'm gathering, Mike, is what the defensive line coach is saying is YaYa Black is going to be getting a lot of playing time on his defensive line, and it's going to be to the point where Keeanu Benton is used in a lot of unorthodox ways, which we knew. They're going to start moving guys around, putting them in different spots, trying to keep the offense honest. And one of the concerns that is going on right now, Mike, if YaYa Black's snaps do go up, how much is this affecting trying to put together Keeanu Benton's extension on his contract? Because, if his snaps are going to be going down, yes, they're going to use him in other ways, but you know what? Cam Hayward's still in there. You know what? Derek Harmon's still in there. You only have so many positions on the defensive line at the end of the day when it comes down to snaps. With YaYa Black, Mike, possibly getting the nod, even at nose tackle. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? How much is the snap count issue, if in any, playing a role in this process that the Steelers are trying to put together a contract for Keeanu Benton? Because on one hand, you want to pay the guy his dues. He made his money. He's played his plays. He did his time. He worked his way up the ladder, if you will, Mike. Last year, more sacks than any year before. Strong season. How do you tackle a contract like this again? And how much does a player like YaYa Black really working his way up the ladder? Certainly, according to the new defensive line coach, how much does that play into putting together and constructing Keeanu Benton's extension contract?
A fair amount, actually. Because you don't want to pay someone a lot of money to where they're only going to be a rotational player.
If I could cut you off one time, just to make a quick point. So if we do, and he ends up kind of being not exactly a starter, if you will. What if they start YaYa and Benton comes in the second play? So now you have a Herbig who's not technically a starter. Yeah. Making big contract, and then also Benton, who may not be a starter at some point, getting the big contract. How does that play into it as well? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
No, go ahead. No, you're good. We're talking about the snaps right here, and I was on Sport Track pulling up Keeanu Benton's contract, trying to find market value and stuff like that. And I started looking through it, statistical comparison. Sexy Dexy, okay. He went to Cincinnati for a first round pick. He's a high paid player. Sexy Dexy only played 57% of the snaps last season. Keeanu Benton played 64% for the Steelers. So, and they put up similar tackles per game, sacks per game, stops per games. Keeanu Benton, based off metrics like that in his film, he might command a decent salary on the open market just based off of what he has done, technically playing out of position, how young he is. And that could be a factor too. He might be seeing himself like, hey, my numbers are as good as these guys. Might want more money, and then what the club's willing to offer. And then, like you're saying, YaYa Black, if he can play and become effective, Keeanu Benton might become expendable at that point. I like what Benton can do, and if he starts getting limited snap counts, I don't want to pay that guy starter money in the to be a backup in the future or a rotational piece in the future. We're all counting on Herbig's going to be a starter next year based off of probably Highsmith moving, which makes the most logical sense. And if you're going to pay Benton starter money, I want him in there. But you also have to factor in old man Cam Hayward. Is he coming back next year after this year? That's another piece of the puzzle we have to figure out, because you're going to pay him, and you want to pay Benton and Hayward at the same time, while you're paying all these other guys, trying to figure out how you're going to get Porter in. It's going to be tricky there, and the development of YaYa Black could hinder an extension for Keeanu Benton, because there's only so much money to go around. Like, if Benton steps up and takes a big leap, like we think he might under this new system, and playing not as a nose tackle, he might command a lot of money out in the free agency market, because if you play him in a traditional 4-down D-line set, he can be just like your pass rush D end or pass rush D tackle. He could be a very effective player and win a lot of money.
Listen, I'm I'm not married to Keeanu Benton.
Neither am I.
A lot of the things right now is getting taking care of Benton, excuse me, and then taking care of JPJ. I could do without Keanu Benton. I'm going to be honest with you 100%. At the end of the day, Mike, he played fair at best his first 2 years. Last year, again, having his career numbers, 5.5 sacks, and everything was up a little bit compared to the previous two. So you got to say he's trending in the right direction. And at the end of the day, Mike, I think, again, if you're going to pay Herbig, give him an extension, he's not technically a starter. And if Keanu Benton kind of works himself out of being the starter, Mike, not only do we have the highest paid aging defense, now we are paying our second stringers X amount of money that just takes the cash value of the defense up more. And again, in my opinion, puts more pressure on the defense to perform and be better, because then people could say, wow, look at this defense paying so much money. Yeah. Their secondary players, I'm sorry, not the secondary players, but their second stringers are making mad money too. So, I mean, that just puts more pressure on the defense, in my opinion. I'm not married to Keeanu Benton. If they didn't get this figured out, I wouldn't be upset one bit. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that they do ultimately get it figured out. I think they do get it set. I'm looking at some numbers here that's coming up on the board. I'm going to just jump right here to Tortilla for a moment. Tortilla says, I was seeing that Benton could get to 14 to 15 million a year. That scares me a lot, but I'm not used to these new giant contracts for role players. Again, at the end of the day, Mike, in my opinion, he didn't earn big payday. Again, even last year, I mean, the first 2 years, we constantly said to one another, he's just not finishing plays. He's getting there. Yep. He's not finishing. And last year, he improved. But again, in the big picture, it wasn't fantastic numbers. He was improved. That was, to me, the way I looked at it. He was an improved player. Yes, that's a good thing. But to ask for money, you got to be at a certain plateau to get certain amounts of money. And Mike, for him personally, I say we could do with him. Like, we could do without him. They will get it taken care of, whatever it may be at the end of the day. But I'm just not married to Keeanu Benton. I don't love him. And at the end of the day, if YaYa Black really steps it up on that defensive line, I think that definitely puts playing time and snaps by Keeanu Benton in jeopardy.
Oh, big time. And I'm not married to Benton either. You can find guys like him in the draft. You're seeing more and more explosive D-line coming out every year. And the way Khan and Weedle draft, they draft offense and defensive line heavily every draft. And you also take a look at someone like Marco Rubio, sitting down there out of Notre Dame that we picked. Yeah. Before his injuries, he was seen as a potential third-round pick, which is where we snagged up Keeanu Benton. So his roster spot or his contract extension is not set in stone, because there are options following him.
Absolutely. And Mike, I'm looking at your just a quote here by your boy Trey Essex. He says this, Mike. He says we're going to see the best of Keeanu Benton in 2026, Mike, especially if he gets his contract extension. In my opinion, listen, again, he never really wowed me to the point where I feel like we have to pay money on top of money to him. Yeah. So at this point, Mike, he better have a damn good season, especially if he gets that contract, especially if he gets his extension. And it just sucks that, sometimes people will play long and through seasons and through careers, and they only rise their play after a big contract. To me, that sucks. So at the end of the day, I'm not all in on Benton. If he goes, if he stays, if they don't get it taken care of, if they do get it taken care of. But at the end of the day, I do say that they do get it taken care of eventually, Mike. It's going to either make us bitch or it's not going to make us bitch. But at the end of the day, with a lot of changes going on in this defense, a lot of different things, a lot of new stuff, I'm just somewhat concerned about that. And I'm just wondering how much YaYa Black's improved play that they're seeing so far is going to have to do with, in fact, the contract of Keeanu Benton. So, again, I was just kind of curious if you felt that was going to be something that was going to affect anything one way or another.
Yeah, I think it would. And I think it actually should affect. Because if you have a young guy coming through, give me the young guy that's coming up after him, because I want to keep Joey Porter Jr. over someone like Keeanu Benton. Benton's a nice place to have, but if I have to save
like one guy is a top possible. Listen, whatever your opinion is, let's just call him a top 5 just for the sake of it, and then Keeanu Benton. Believe me, I'm keeping my cornerback, who's a top 5 cornerback in the league, 10 times out of 10 over somebody like Keeanu Benton. And again, just because Mike, he's been here. He's a piece. He's familiar. Those are the reasons I like Keeanu Benton. It's not his play. He's never impressed me to the point where I would ever pick him over somebody like JPJ. So again, just kind of coming back to where we're just not married to the Keeanu Benton idea. And at the end of the day, Mike, I think it can improve with a draft. With one draft, I think you can fix that position. I truly, honestly do.
I mean, we went Derek Harmon, and he's already proven to be a damn good player. We got him in the first round last year. Why not, again, double dip down into the first round?
I agree.
It's a strategy that works. And, you want to keep those first round picks here for as long as you can. But, my God, if you can have a dominant line and O-line and D-line by using first, second round picks on them every couple drafts, why not do it and to have them to replace the guy that's going through, unless you land on someone who's going to be a stud for years to come that you can build around on that defense. Go ahead and do it. Otherwise, they're all just kind of, you can just cycle through them and get rid of them.
I agree. A lot to get into today. Let's get back on the board, guys. I do see some people walking in. I do want to say what's up to Lindsay. I do want to say what's up to Tyrone. Guys, always great seeing you. Hope you've had a nice Tuesday. Welcome back. It's hump day. Let me get up to where we need to be here on the board. I'm going to go right about here. Mike Tortilla, this one's for you. Tortilla asks, is Benton holding in with JPJ or is he getting his reps in?
He's getting his reps in. He's out there working. JPJ is the only one who's been a hold in.
Yeah. And you know what, that puts in like you mentioned something earlier that is really a good point. What is Cam's plan? What is Cam? Like right? I said, he's not going to play one day less than that damn record. I promise you, the guy will play till he's 49. And the unfortunate part is we're going to keep playing him until he's 40 fucking 9. He wants to be the Iron Man. He wants to be the longest tenured Steeler so bad. And as I said, Mike, there's not going to be anything that happens that makes him play one less game than what he has to. So we just have to figure out where he is on that list, where we are with the amount of games played. And I think that we'll get pretty close to be able to figuring out when he's going to retire and when he's not. I don't have it in front of me. Maybe that could be my project for tonight, my homework. But I think, as I said, we'll take a look at where he's at in games played, what the record is. And again, I think we'll be able to get pretty damn close with the prediction just by that information alone.
Oh, yeah. Unless his play deteriorates so bad to where Omar Khan goes into Rooney's office and goes, we have to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Like we forced Troy Polamalu to retire due to declining play.
Yeah.
That man won 2 Super Bowls and a Defensive Player of the Year award. We can do that to the Walton Payton Man of the Year award winner.
That's right. Let's go to Tortilla. Tortilla says this. I see Benton. Okay, we did get this one actually about the money. Just learning. Always great seeing Just Learning. He says everyone under Tomlin was playing out of position literally. We're learning. We're learning. As I said, we're going to move on. But nothing should surprise you because at the end of the day, between Cowher and Tomlin, there was a lot of changes. So I expect a lot of changes, and hopefully they're for the better. And you know what? As I said, I'm going to be respectful and let Coach T move on in his career, and I'm not going to give him a bunch of shit. When things come up, we'll talk about it. But I'm going to be fair because I know that a lot of people liked him. And you know what? At the end of the day, we're all Steeler Nation. And despite your opinion, at the end of the day, we all bleed black and gold. So we're just going to continue moving forward here. Let's go to Corey, don't drink that. He says Benton is a 2-sack season guy that can walk. I'm okay with it. Yeah, he had, I think, one rookie year, one his second year, and then 5.5 last year. So it was a big increase, Mike, in his sacks at least. And everything else went up a little bit as well. So again, go ahead. Yeah,
I'm gonna say, like, for film watchers, he's fun to watch. I've watched breakdowns of him play. He's good. He's fun. He's exciting. But it's the finishing the plays in the backfield.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's the Patrick
there.
Queen. He's the Patrick Queen of the defensive line. Like he gets there on time and play missed. Gets there on time and play missed.
That's my big problem with him, and we of course talk about this all the time. You and I. Let's continue down here to Tortilla. I want to see Benton at defensive end, especially if Hayward retires. He could be a decent replacement for a year or two. I got to get a look at what Benton does this year. I'm going to be honest, Mike, again, going from the 1 sack to 5.5 sack and other improvements in his statistics and play last year. I have to see what we get from Keeanu Benton this year, Mike. Unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with this contract prior to, but at the end of the day, this leaves me sitting, and I could go without him one way or another. I'm fine. I'm indifferent. But I think they'll get it figured out for Keeanu. And again, I hope to see that continue again, that we've seen last year, because at the end of the day, Mike, he just wasn't getting it done year one, year two, getting there, just not finishing the plays in backfield. And he was doing it more last year. So again, keeping an eye on that. This year will be something that we do. Let's continue down a little bit more. I do want to say what's up to Lindsay. Always great seeing Lindsay from right here in Pittsburgh. I hope things are going well for you, sister. I think Charlie Batch is trying to, we'll get into this here in a little bit, but Charlie's talking about the stadium and just different locations. Again, I think Charlie's crazy, but we'll get to him shortly here. But it kind of takes us out Lindsay's direction. So it was just something that I seen.
Right in her backyard, the couch. Her and Tater can watch the game from her couch, literally now, in person.
Let's move forward here to Tyrone. JPJ is the GOAT. I think that Ty knows better than that, because Ty is in fact the GOAT, but JPJ is a close second. What's up, brother? Always great seeing Tyrone on the terrible board, and then just life in general, my man. Always great to see you, my friend. Hope things are going well for you. Let's go to Lindsay. She says Gonzalez gave his top 5 and JPJ wasn't on it. He's teetering. Here's the thing, to say, you got to think Patrick Surtain too. There's a handful of guys that could certainly fall in that category. So, I kind of keep him around 5, because again, it's tough to say. I would go higher, but when you think about it, there are a lot of corners in this league that are, considerable. So for that reason and that reason only, I try to keep him right there at 5. And I think with a big season this year, I think he'll certainly be one of the top cornerbacks. But as of right now, Mike, he still has to consistently do what he does. Yes, he's improved everything to this point. Yes, his tackling improved. Yes, his penalties went down. So this year, Mike, I think consistency is going to be my key with Joey Porter Jr. I want to continue to see the play that he's had and the improvement that he's had from 1 year to 2 to 3 to 4 this year. That's my big thing. He gets his contract. I think he takes care of business and has a great season, and this will land him in top 3 cornerback conversations for the next 5 years to come. Mike. So again, this year, I think consistency is the key I'm looking for. He's made improvements in areas that we had complaints about.
Yeah.
Oh, his tackling's terrible. He's tackling good. He doesn't, he doesn't look like a third grader trying to tackle a junior high kid anymore. As far as his penalties, down big. That was the big problem in year 2. The penalties, oh my God, the pass interference. Now they don't even throw the guy's way. So now keeping it together, being consistent, I think is key for this year, Mike. And if that happens, I think it's impossible to keep Joey Porter out of your mouth if you're talking top cornerbacks in this league.
It would have to be. And like we talk all the time, it's about the name and the recognition. And then once you get that, and then, it's the reputation just carries.
Mike Miles Garrett was the defensive player of the year before the season even started. You know what I mean?
Yeah, You certain players get hyped up before that, and that's who the league and the media is gonna pimp out that year. And funny stat I saw, people talk about JPJ. He's he only has like those 2 interceptions last year. Sauce Gardner was traded for 2 first-round draft picks, and he only had 2 interceptions all of last year.
He didn't have it in New York. I know that.
I did. Damn straight.
Yeah.
So just say, everyone wants to harp on the interceptions. A lot of people have Sauce Gardner in their top 5 solidified. He's not a big interception guy because a lot of people don't throw to his side.
I do want to say, Just Learning says work time, bros. All right, my man, you have a great day. Hope you stay cool. I know that it's hot. It's hot here, 83 right now in Western PA, Mike. I think it's going up to 88, close to 90 today. So guys, keep cool wherever you are. It's gonna be a scorcher. We are into summer. There's no 2 ways about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, tell your boss to just pay you. You have more important things to do right now.
That's right. I couldn't agree more. A couple of things there, Mike. The Steelers. Let's talk about some transactions, some things that's happened over the past couple of days. Brandon Johnson already gone. This is why I hate even bringing these names up sometime. Last week, Brandon Johnson was signed. This week, Brandon Johnson is gone. Of course, the wide receiver, Mike. And then also the Steelers bringing another punter, this Aiden Laros. He was a very athletic punter, Mike. Apparently, he was a standout in college from South Africa. And them guys over in South Africa, Gary Anderson, they could kick the shit out of a football, man. They could, with the rugby and everything they do over there, always busy with. Mike, they do bring him in. The Steelers now have a second punter. I'm wondering if this is just Mike McCarthy's way of keeping people like Cam Johnston fresh and competing in off season, Mike, by bringing in a person like this. Because at the end of the day, this kid could be on a team. We got him off of waivers from Tampa Bay, Mike, but we do have a second punter right now. And again, punter talk has been something that's kind of came and went through this offseason with different names. So it just makes me wonder, what do we have here? Does this kid have a chance to beat Cam Johnston out? Is this guy, again, just there to raise the level of competition? I'm not real sure. What do you think?
Could be a raise the level competition. We know like Cam's, had that nasty injury 2 years ago through here. So maybe having guys come through so you get a little research on them and see what's going on. And then if something bad were to happen to Johnson, okay, we have a history, or at least we kind of know what this guy has. Or hey, maybe sneak someone onto the practice squad. It might be weird to say, hey, we're gonna have a punter on the practice squad, but if you think they might have a future on your team, and again with the injuries to Cam Johnson, and you're afraid this guy might get picked by another team, maybe see if there's something there for the future, because I think Johnson's only on a 1-term deal.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. If you like him and you're thinking he's going to be around, and again, Johnson had his injury, and he bounced around even a little bit after that. Yeah. So this team didn't think he looked that good. This team didn't take him. So at the end of the day, who knows? That is also going down, Mike. Of course, Aiden Laros, the former collegiate standout from South Africa, is on the Steelers roster at the moment. Speaking of Steelers rosters, if you are tuning in this Saturday to the UFL championship, Mike, of course, the UFL is having their championship this Saturday, Louisville at DC. There's 7 former Steeler players and 1 former coach. And I'm going to be honest with you, Mike, I looked at the list one time, and it's no names that you would ever recognize, but you could always tune in this Saturday to watch the UFL championship game. This Saturday, Mike, there will be former Steelers there.
Yeah, and former Steelers in that, is doing a lot of work. Steelers is doing a lot of work in that sentence, because my God, like you said, who are these guys? They're like practice squad guys, which, fuck, man, to make the practice squad in the NFL, that's an achievement in and of itself. But like you said, like, who the hell's this guy? Who the hell's this guy? Yeah. Who the fuck is this guy? It's like the scene in Major League when they're going over the roster.
It isn't like when you look back and you start to, you were seeing recognizable names in the past year or two. Again, not real familiar with some of these players, but they will be there on Saturday as the UFL championship does come about. Let's go back to the board. I'm going to go right here. Mark Malone, what's up, brother? Mark, was it you that sent the video of Three River Stadium on Discord? Because listen, by the time I seen this morning, and he sent it about 11 something last night. I think it was Mark. And the funny thing about that, about 11 last night, I seen the exact same video, and I was going to put it in Discord, and I didn't. However, it's very interesting. If you were on our Discord, do go over and check out this video of Three River Stadium. And I think that Mark really likes it because it actually has Mark Malone in it. Mark Malone was in this video, but again, it's called like the weird Three River Stadium, talking about how it was actually on top of an Indian burial ground. It was built on right there on the North Shore of Pittsburgh. So very interesting. If you guys get a chance, go to Discord, check it out. It's a few minutes long, but it's worth it. Especially if you've lived through the Three River Stadium era, and it's just very neat. A lot of cool things about it. Very successful, Mike, our teams were in the 70s. As you figured, the Three River Stadium got built in 1970, and we won World Series in 70 and 79 and 4 Super Bowls throughout the 70s. So, you know what, that big green rug in the middle of that donut on the North Shore, it was a good place for the Pirates and the Steelers for quite some time.
Yes, it was, man. I was quite sad to see the old girl torn down. She went down too. Yeah, so many memories there, man. Baseball games as a kid, a couple football games with dad. So it was a bittersweet moment, but my God, I eat PNC Park so much better. Heinz/Accushore so much better. But pretty soon, we're gonna have the new one out in Lindsay's backyard.
Yes, yes, we'll continue to get to this when we get back down to Lindsay here in a couple of seconds, Mike. But I do want to say that initially, and a lot of people might not know this. I know I sure didn't. That the River Stadium initially was supposed to be built similar to PNC Park, to where you could see the city. In the background. However, it didn't work out that way. But a very interesting video. Again, guys, it's revealing. You could definitely learn some stuff from this. Mark did put it up. I'm just seeing on the board. He says, yeah, that was me. It just popped up on my feed. And guys, it was right around the same exact time I seen it. So I mean, we must have seen it at the same time, roughly, because at the end of the day, I was going to put it up, but I did not. I get up this morning, I see Mark has it on there. So I appreciate that, Mark. Thanks for throwing that up. Do go check it out over on our Discord if you do get a chance. Very interesting, Mike. Again, just from the very first thing about them, of course, about them being buried on an Indian or built on an Indian burial ground, and also they wanted to have that view of the city the same way the PNC. So very interesting, and to see Mark Malone out there, guys, very cool. Check it out over on Discord. Let's go right here. Mark says he's getting traded for show. Also, Corey says I seen Benton fall on his face too much trying to. I know, and that's what I'm saying. I know. Is there a chance we don't extend him, Mike? I mean, is this a possibility?
There is a possibility, but I don't know, man. If they're enamored with him and they love, how we can do on the D lines and O lines, they're gonna find a way to extend him, and then next year, 3/5 of your offensive line. Like, I would rather, let Benton walk and use some of that money to make sure I can keep a McCormick, a Frazier, and a Fatanu.
Right.
I think those three are more important than Keeanu Benton.
Me too. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, I like him around, and if we get him, it's just a lot of money. It seems like it's going to come out for him, and to me, I just don't know. Again, I think that position could be fixed in one draft, but let's move down as we do move along right here. I'm going to go to Lindsay. Lindsay says, Charlie can shut the fuck up. We don't want it out here at all.
Man, anger. She's angry today.
Yeah. Imagine competing with 30,000 fans every Thursday night on your work way home from work, or whatever your daily business might be. Let's hope that doesn't play out. I like the North Shore, but again, Charlie just finds some interesting things to talk about sometimes, and you know what, that's not a bad thing. But again, Mike talking about the Penguins having their practice facility in Cranberry, and just things that are often different in different places. That's what Charlie was talking about. Let's hope that everything stays down on the North Shore. It's worked for a long time. Again, Charlie always comes up with some interesting things. Let's go to Tortilla. We got rid of the benches for couches. And you know what? I love this, and I'm going to come back to this because this actually has a lot to do with what I want to talk about today. The Steelers don't have benches at OTAs, and I love this idea. I'll get more into that in just a bit. Let's go to Just Learning. He says, work time. Yes, my man. You have a great day. Hope you knock it out, sir. Won't be long now. Let's go to Ty. Ty says, so are you, Mark. He's saying that, Mark, you're getting traded too. Aaron Jade, here we go. Steelers with the Rockets. There he is, my man, Aaron Jade in the house. Always great seeing you, big dog. Glad to have you here. Glad to see you. It's hump day, bro. We're getting there. Mark Malone says this. I just got done doing a little wrench turning on my hillbilly rig. It's hot in the Ozark Mountains already for sure. And as I'm looking, we are right around 83, 84 here as well. Keep cool, dude. It's already starting to mess with my sleep a little bit. You ever, when the weather really starts changing over, Mike, I usually have trouble for about a week or so because it's you're trying to sleep with the heat. I mean, you got the air conditioning. It's different. You have to acclimate for sure.
Yeah, it sucks.
Let's go to Ty. Ty says, this, Mark, I just traded you to the Titans for a bag of chips and a pack of cigs. Enjoy, Tennessee. Mark Malone says, smokes ain't too bad. Let's go to Tortilla. He says, we signed the punter so he can tell us Danny Smith's new fake punt tricks. I like it. Mark Malone, he says, yeah, that was me. It was very interesting. I mean, sometimes things like this, you check out sometimes the things you don't. I'm very glad I did check it out again. If you want to check it out, go over to our Discord. Very interesting video. Again, the Three River Stadium built on an Indian burial ground and was supposed to be an open-end stadium to see the city. Just interesting. Those are just two things that I could remember that I liked. Let's go to right here. Lindsay's no Ryan, no Mike. We don't have space. She's saying we don't have any. We have 0 room. Sorry. Don't bring them in my backyard.
She's going to have to buy a bigger couch.
She's going to have to buy a bigger couch. Absolutely. Let's continue down here to Mark. Mark says, hey, yeah, man, it was really, I thought so too, Mark. And I appreciate it. Like I said, I think it's cool that you stuck it over there. Gives people a chance to check it out and they don't have to go search for it. But do go check it out again. I think, especially if you grew up through the Three River Stadium era, very, very interesting stuff. Let's go right here to Kenneth Jones, my man. Always great seeing Kenny on the board. Hope things are going good for you this summer, bro. We're working our way there. It's June 10th. We are wrapping up OTAs this week, Thursday, Friday. They will be finishing up on Friday, and then next week they will be having Mike McCarthy Rookie School That's right, Mike McCarthy Rookie School next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. As everybody heads home, the rookies stay in town an extra 3 days to work on individual work. I like this, Mike. Rookie School next week. Always great seeing Kenneth on the board. We're getting there, brother. We have camp next month. And guys, we are just 95 days, Keeanu Benton days away from kicking off the season for the Steelers. So, guys, we're getting there. It's getting here. It's coming quick, Mike.
It is too, man. It's coming real quick, and I can't wait. I am itching for some football, baby.
And Kenneth agrees with you. He said he is stoked, and I am too, guys. It's amazing how fast this offseason is going. Very busy, very productive, in my opinion. Could you imagine, not keeping up with the Steelers the way that we do and the board does and people at home? Because, again, so much stuff has happened. Can you imagine finishing up after that Houston game in January and then turning your TV back on to watch football in August and September? You'd be asked, there'd be a lot of questions. And who's this? What's this all about? When did he come in? Do we sign him? So this is why we do what we do, guys. We stay on top of it anyway. And so we put it in the form of a show. And I think that a lot of Steeler Nation enjoys it as well. And guys, very, very, we're on our way, Mike. Again, 95 days away from kickoff. We got camp next month at St. Vincent College in Latrobe. Preseason games for me is good enough. Let's get the preseason. I want to see the young people. I want to see where we're at. So for me, kicking off the regular season September is one thing. Me personally, Mike, my start day is when preseason games start, because again, at the end of the day, they're practice games, but you get to see a lot. You get to have a lot of answers to the questions that you may have at that point.
Yeah, especially with a brand new coaching staff, and you'll get to see a little bit of what we're gonna do in the regular season, because I don't think they're gonna show much, but just enough to new little wrinkles, and I think everything will be new, especially on offense, because we haven't seen this offense before. We've been running Artie Smith for the past 2 years, but to get an idea of how the defense is going to play, I think that's going to be fun. It wouldn't surprise me if they, in one of the games when all the starters are playing, you might see all three of the big edge rushers out there, just throwing stuff out there to make teams over prepare for that look, because you don't know how much we're going to do, but put some stuff out there to where teams like, oh my God, now we definitely got to prepare for this more and more. So I'm excited, man. I am so excited.
I'm excited, Mike. Do you want to go check on the hallway? I hear situations happening.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'll continue on the board. I think I hear little voices screaming and yelling, and I just figured Mike got to go check that out. Let's stay on the board as we do, though. I'm going to go right here to Lindsay. Lindsay says this. She says they can move it to Cranberry, and just not my way. And the unfortunate part about that, Lindsay, is the airport. That's got to be a big selling point if they are going to consider moving out your way. Close to the airport got to be an advantage. So let's hope for your sake that it doesn't play out this way. But I kind of like it down on the North Shore. I hope everything stays down there. Let's go to Jello. What's up, Jello Donut? Always great seeing Jello on the board. My man. He says, this benches are bad for your backs. Take a knee. I agree. Make these guys be football players for once. Just saying. Take a knee. Tortilla says football is bad for your back too. Let's go to Tyrone. Yeah, good for rookies. Get more work. I agree. What does this hurt? What does this hurt by keeping rookies around 3 more days? Nothing. You could only gain. You could only learn from this kind of stuff, I think. Let's go to Kenneth. Kenneth says checkbook is closed for anything but extensions. Won't go after Baker. Jello Donut says 2 wrongs don't make a right. And Tortilla says they should ban benching. So, guys, lots of things to get into today. Lots of great comments to get into stuff this afternoon. Again, welcome back to the 2 Dum Yinzers. This is episode 980. Just 20 shows till the big 1,000, guys, here in a few weeks. We're certainly anticipating this. Looking forward to it. Glad to see everybody here. And, again, OTAs will go tomorrow and Friday as they're off today. And Mike McCarthy Rookie School next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But just because the guys are not going to be in town after the OTAs end, a bunch of guys, as a matter of fact, Riley Nowakowski is going to be heading back to Wisconsin after the OTAs to work out with TJ Watt and with Nick Herbig. That is going to be going on this offseason, guys. So that just gives you a little bit of an indicator. Yes, the rookies are sticking around to do their work, but also these guys are going to continue to work on their craft. And Riley Nowakowski going back to Wisconsin with Herbig, with Watt to just work on things, learn things, and get ready for the season. Hopefully, he could. I think he'll be fine making the squad, but to put himself in a little bit better position whenever it does come down to time to make those decisions, because we are going to have to go down from 90 some guys to 50 some guys. So, Mike, again, as I was saying, Riley Nowakowski planning on heading back to Wisconsin with TJ Watt and Nick Herbig to work on his craft a little bit after OTAs.
Yeah, not a bad move right there, hitching your wagon to the two vets. That's what Herbig did. He's trained with his fellow Badger, and I like to see they're continuing that tradition with Nowakowski, because I think Nowakowski could be a very good role player on this team. Like he said, he can be the new Meatwad, and I think he looks more athletic than Meatwad, and I think he can do a decent job in this offense, man.
I agree. Also, Mike, Jack Sawyer. Jack Sawyer is planning on also meeting up with the guys in Wisconsin and doing some work.
Yes.
So Jack Sawyer, Nick Herbig, TJ Watt, Riley Nowakowski, a lot of the guys continuing to get together. And I always love hearing things like this. Even a few years back when our quarterback it was a terrible tragedy down in Florida. Mike, I always like to see in the offseason the guys getting together and working and trying to improve their own craft, outside of teamwork. Those are great signs to me. So, again, a lot of the guys, Mike, again, all the Badgers heading back, including Jack Sawyer as well, of course, not a Badger, Buckeye, all heading to Wisconsin after the OTAs to continue work. Again, more good signs, in my opinion. One other thing I did see, and I don't know if I seen it right, and I hope I did. I hope I didn't. Do you remember a few years back when Russell Wilson was pushing sleds?
Yeah.
Did you see the video of Aaron Rodgers like doing something like pass rushing drills, obviously messing around and fun? But
Yeah.
Didn't we learn anything? When
right?
Russell Wilson was pushing? Come on. Again, I don't know. It was a real short clip I seen, but he was like going around a dummy and sticking his arm up as he was, pass rushing. So again, Mike,
I think he was doing
after the sled accident. I don't want to see anything like this ever again.
No, especially with Aaron Rodgers. At least we had, Justin Fields to back him up. Now we got Magnum and two young guys. I think I saw that video too. Like what he was working with the quarterbacks too, or acting like the pass rusher for him or some shit like that. No. You let the young quarterbacks do it. Let Mason be that guy. I don't want Aaron Rodgers and his old ass knees and tendons and ligaments doing anything like that. I don't care if he's out there having fun, coach. We ain't doing that.
Mike, with that being said, Will Howard getting some quarterback one reps this week kind of surprised some people. But again, Mike, under the new coaching system, you just don't know what we're going to see. Everything that you've got familiar with and accustomed to over the past 2 decades, when something comes up every day, which it's going to, you just got to say, it's a new system. It's a new coaching staff. It doesn't surprise me, Mike. But again, Will Howard getting first team snaps this week in camp. And it just is another thing that just can't wait till August to get the preseason games, because again, they have their own reason of importance, a reason of relevance. And it's, to learn these young players, see who's got it, see who doesn't, see who's going to earn that spot, see who's not going to earn a spot, see who you think is going to make the team, who's going to be on the practice squad. Getting a chance to look at these young quarterbacks. Again, not getting a chance to look at Will Howard yet because of the injury last year. We're going to get to see both of these kids. We're going to see what Mason has still in the so again, very interested. I'm excited for preseason football. It's just 3 games. It's not real spread out like it used to be at the 4. So preseason, Mike, is just as big in my opinion. It don't matter. Don't count it. It's nothing that's going to build or kill you from any situations, playoffs, anything like this. But again, for a fan and fans to understand what's going on with the squad, Mike, preseason is very valuable, and I cannot wait. To get some preseason football.
Oh yeah, especially this year, new coaching staff, a ton of rookies. A couple key roster battles too, man. I like it. I like how this training camp in preseason is going to go. It's going to be very intriguing. It'll be the most interesting we've had probably in about 20 years. from when Tomlin took over, because it was a completely different way of doing training camp from when Cowher did it, and now we're getting a completely different way from McCarthy and Tomlin now too. So it's going to be fun to see the differences and maybe even some of the similarities of how they run. But yeah, I really can't wait for training camp to start. And like how we're getting the first team reps. I like how McCarthy did this last day of OTAs. It was all the young guys on offense. It got a lot of reps. I think Rodgers was just there hanging out teaching, and then Will Howard and Drew Aller were able to do their thing. I like that, because you got to find ways to get those young guys the reps that they need, and I like that. Let's give the vets a day off, reward them for doing their thing, and I liked how Rodgers also was standing there coaching up the two young guys.
And to say what you want about, next week we do have Mike McCarthy's new rookie school. The rest of the team, Mike, once we do wrap up the OTAs this week, it's, besides for the individual work they're going to do amongst themselves, that's it. That's it as far as practice goes.
Yeah.
Now it's, the next step is camp next month in Latrobe. So we are very close. The guys know that. It's just things are going good, Mike. Things are going smooth in the process. I don't have many complaints overall in this offseason. I don't really think there's many complaints that you could have. If we come out and shit the bed and go 1-13 to start a season, then it's a whole different story. But as of right now, Mike, I just can't imagine. I can't imagine how anything like that could be the case. I feel that this is an improved team, and I think that we're going to play improved football. And being a 10-7 team, winning the division, and going to the playoffs, that's a good thing to consider.
Yeah, with the dearth of young talent that we have, but apparently we're a nursing home out here. But yet we're signing all these young guys to new extensions. But we're an old team. But yeah, this offseason is going well, and this time off between now and training camp, this is where guys can fail or succeed. You have to put in the work now. You're on your own. Maybe this is where I don't know if this is the case with Roman Wilson, but I'm going to use him as an example. That time when you're left on your own, this isn't like college where everything is, micromanaged down to the last second of your day. You're an adult now, man. This is your job. You got to do the little things when no one's watching. And this is where a rookie or a guy who's on the bubble making the roster can make or break their case. Come into camp at your peak. Don't use camp to get to your peak by the end of camp. Go into camp and be ready to go from day one. And for a lot of these guys, this is where they can lose a roster spot if you're on the bubble. They got to do all the little things from here to now, or from now to training camp.
And they do got to shed 40-some bodies when it's all said and done. So at the end of the day, it's still a lot to go down with the team. Let's get back on the board. I'm going to go right here. Tyrone said, I'm just glad we got a new change. I am too. I think, just overall is warranted. I think it's going to be a good thing. Change is going to be good.
Yeah.
Let's go on to Tortilla. Tortilla says this, WizCon son. Lindsey TJ, so selfish, but he's training the young ones. Let's go to Tyrone. Tyrone says this, agree, Lindsey TJ helping Herbig and Sawyer. I agree, it's big. I don't disagree with you at all, Lindsey. I think that, again, just another good offense, or not just another good off-season story that you like to hear about your team. Other teams have guys that are getting in trouble and getting arrested and not being able to. We're not off. This is a good off season, guys. Compared to some things that are going around in the league, I'll take this any day of the week. Tortilla says TJ took a PJ. Let's go to Tyrone. He says 20 phone 90. Jello Donut says this, Rodgers gets hurt doing silly stuff at practice. McCarthy's seen it, throws Howard into a first rep. Never know when you get a Bledsoe Brady moment. You don't. Bledsoe didn't think his career was over at quarterback in New England that day. And, you just never know. You're right. Tyrone, I like Aller saying A-Rod been teaching him and helping. And that's what I'm saying. Everybody seems very helpful now. And I like it. I just, Mike, it feels good. It does. It feels good.
I like what Roger said. He's like, I'm not going to go out of my way, but if you want the help, I'm here for you. So that tells me that both of these cats are like, we want to do well. So Aaron, old man, what can you teach us?
Yeah. Let's go down here to Tortilla. He says 90 plus 24 is probably how much JPJ will make. Lindsay says this, if we go 1-13, it's going to be a long-ass season. You ain't kidding. I listen. I don't gamble, but if I did, Mike, I just can't. I can't imagine we're going to do any worse off than we did last year. I just can't.
Dude, if the Steelers go 1-13, the two Dum Yinzers would be having 50 million people in here every day.
I know.
Ready to jump off a bridge.
Yeah, I don't know if Yins guys notice that, but during the season when we lose, man, they really pack in just to complain. But that's all right. It's all good. That's why we're here.
Videla Thunder just said in the ear he might be rooting for the Steelers to go 0-17.
Yeah.
That's not Mike. That was Thunder.
Right. Oh, just thinking of the show.
Just thinking of the show.
Mark Malone saying 13-4. Tortilla is pretty close, I think, where he's saying 34. I would like that. I would like that a lot. Lindsay says 9-8, 10-7 until I'm proven on. That's you know what? That's a good way to look at it as well, Lindsay. No, can't fault you there. And Mark Malone says score for the first game. Yeah, the two young guys couldn't be in a better place. I agree. I don't know what you're asking on the score for the first game. Prediction on these
the 34-0 from Tortilla. He was
referring
back
gotcha.
To.
I gotcha. Perfect. Let's stay on offense for a couple more moments here, Mike. A couple things I want to get into. This was what's being said by Mike McCarthy about our tight end, Darnell Washington, who I love more than anything on this planet. Darnell Washington is my favorite football player, not only my favorite Steeler. I just love freaks. You know this. It's no surprise, Mike. Mike McCarthy says he is going to be a matchup problem, and I couldn't agree more. And this is one of the areas that I feel that the last coaching staff really shit the bed, Mike, at the end of the day. You make this guy sit around basically for 2-3 seasons to start his career. You get a guy like this, you have to use him to your advantage. You have to. Mike, he went all the way through his first contract, basically, with really until those couple games last year being a non-factor, and that stinks to be as big as he is and as effective as he is and not be used. Mike McCarthy saying he's going to be a huge matchup problem, and I can't wait to see what they have in store alongside with Michael Pittman and DK Metcalf and Jeremy Bernard and Pat Freiermuth. So again, Mike, I think all those little things that we wanted to see because we had the piece in place, I think we're going to start seeing them this year a little bit more. I think you're going to start, you're going to start seeing Pat Freiermuth more. I think you're going to start seeing Roman more, and again, Washington. And I think that's all necessary. Yeah. You got to use all your pieces. You have a lot of pieces. Why try to only be successful and competitive with X amount of pieces?
Yeah.
Use your pieces, especially if one of them's over 300 pounds and can catch a football and run 10 guys over down the field. In my mind, a no-brainer. Mike McCarthy creating a lot of matchup problems with Darnell Washington, Mike.
Yeah, like I would have seen, like you said, a lot more of him. Like he's gotten more and more action every year, but last year, for being his most productive year, 31 catches, 364 yards, 1 touchdown. Those numbers need to go way up. I at least double. Like for catches and yards. Yes, I know there's going to be a lot of guys fighting for the ball, but my God, if you can get him around 600 yards. I think that's going to be a hell of production out of him. He's averaging on his career 11 yards a reception. I'll take that. Last year, he generated 16 first downs. The guy can be an automatic first down machine. Like I thought, 2 years ago when Arthur Smith's first run, I thought, oh my God, they're finally throwing in the ball halfway through the season. That was Russ's first read every single game because we were getting first downs with him. Jumpstart the offense, then we went away from it for some odd reason. Then last year he was, the production went up, but it felt like he was rarely used. It's because we had to force feed Johnny Smith. I don't think there's going to be any of that nonsense of force feeding a guy. It's going to be go out there and whoever's the best is going to get the ball. And my God, like I say, if you get around 600 yards, I'll take that, man. I'll take every tight end and every wide receiver at 600 yards, and I'll be a happy camper.
And nobody is part of this offense, Mike, that I really feel that you're forcing it to, where Johnny Smith really felt forced every single time the ball went to him. I feel this is going to be a smoother offense, Mike. And again, the second time around with Aaron, yes, it's a different offense, but with the guys, things feel that they're going to be a lot smoother this time around. Also, Mike, more options for Aaron. It should up his game a percentage, whatever percentage it would be. I think is an improvement again, Mike. Again, 24 touchdowns last season. If you can improve on that and get yourself closer to 4,000 yards, which I think you'll be closer to this year, I think you got to like that improvement, especially as it being a passing league now. And then also, Mike, with the running backs, the running back room again. A lot of people are anticipating seeing this running back room thinking it's going to be very physical, and I can't imagine how it's not going to be because Jalen Warren's a very physical runner to begin with. Add Rico Dowdle, Mike, a lot of things to look forward to with our Steelers. So staying healthy.
Yes.
Staying healthy. I think it's going to ultimately come back to that at the end of the day, as it did for many years for the Steelers and other teams. We had good teams over the years. A lot of times injuries certainly play a role. So let's keep our fingers crossed this year that we can keep guys healthy. Let's continue on the board, see what's going on. I'm going to go right here to Ashton Gorek. Ashton Gorek. I'm sorry about that. I apologize if I sliced up your name, my friend. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the terrible board. Ashton says this: we don't need Baker Mayfield. What we have in the quarterback room, I think Mason is going to be out next season. If not this season, you're probably right. I think Mason's time's about done. And again, at the end of the day, listen, they're not going to get rid of either of these two young quarterbacks. That's great. Why would you? This is an opportunity to make change with this team. This is the perfect timing. You got two young kids. It's Mason's. At the end of the day, Mike, the writing's on the wall with Mason. He's as good as done for me when it comes down to it. And again, if you're continuing on with the same coaching staff as we have over the past X amount of years, I think that's where Mason Rudolph becomes more of a valuable backup because he's familiar with the system to the point that he's been here all those years. Like the fact that we're coming in under a whole new system, these young kids are going to know just as much as Mason does at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, in my opinion, I think the writing's on the wall. Mason Rudolph's just a matter of time before he's not a Steeler anymore. And I think that's the right move because, hey, you got two younger guys. One of them neither of them have the experience that Mason has. Who cares? They're younger. Let them learn. Let them be a part of this system. That's going to be what we have moving forward. Mike, I am totally fine losing Mason Rudolph at the end of the day.
Me too. At this point, either, go with Aaron, and if Aaron gets hurt for a significant amount of time, might as well just, see what one of these young two guys have for the future, because that's what they are. And you have pieces in place throughout the roster. Your offensive line's more or less set. Same thing with all your skill groups on offense, and more or less your defense 100% set too. It's just that quarterback position going forward. And you're hoping one of these two guys on there will be handed the keys to the empire to run it. And why not run one of them out there if Aaron goes down? Because at that point, the season's over. Just see what happens. And if one of those two can go out there and wow us and wow the coaches and, make the team look competitive like they can function in an NFL offense, even better.
Mike, these couple of numbers I read this morning, I thought, wow, this is cool. A couple of things that they are going to want to repeat or improve on, Mike, to stay a competitive team. Last year, get this, guys, our offensive line were only penalized 13 times. Our offensive line was only penalized 13 times all last season. That, again, is just a sign of a good offense coming together with these pieces, Mike, your Frazier's, your McCormick's, your Fatanu's. I don't know what it is, but, Mike, I'd like to see that continue or improve because, again, Mike, that is the fewest in the league.
Ooh.
13 penalties by our offensive line last year. And, again, if you can stay at that level, yes, you are going to be a elite offensive line. So let's continue. Let's hope that continues, Mike, as the offensive line does grow together and learns together and becomes hopefully one of the better offensive lines moving forward. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Mike, we had 27 takeaways, which was fourth in the league last year. So I'd like to see it stay right around there. And something tells me it could be an improvement, Mike, on what we're hearing is going on with the defense, especially in the secondary. If we could get some improved play on the line, maybe as we were talking about Benton, making some things happen in the backfield. Mike, again, 27 takeaways last year for our defense, fourth league-wide.
I didn't realize the offensive line had that few amount of penalties.
Neither did I.
That is insane. So even if they just maintain that level, I'm happy with that, Jesus, I mean, you're doing something well if you're only getting 13, and the way those guys play, how aggressive they are, that's encouraging. And on the takeaways, I didn't realize. I knew we had a lot. And we just didn't score a lot of points off. Now with a new offense that's hopefully better than what we had last year, and if we even just stay, like you said, maintain those turnovers, just imagine how further ahead we'll be in those games. and how much that defense will be able to play loose and aggressive and facilitate even more turnovers off of it. And then guess what? They'll give the offense the ball back and hopefully better field positions and score more points. So there's a lot of things that can happen or that are on the verge of happening to where this team is going to be on the upswing. And it's going to be the surprise team of the NFL. Like a lot of these little analytics that people don't talk about when they're discussing, how well a team's going to fare. These are numbers that go a long way. Because if you can win the turnover battle and the penalty battle, guess what? You more often than not, you're winning that game.
I agree, Mike. Again, I unless we totally shit the bed, I can't.
Yeah,
I don't understand. I just don't understand where people are coming from. And again, I try to take myself out of the, being a Yinzer, being from Steeler Nation, being bleeding black and gold, and to look at it as every other person would. And again, it still doesn't make much sense to me, some of the hate. But you know what? I understand that this is what goes on. It has for a very long time, pretty much my whole life with the Steelers. Let's jump back on the board. I'm going to go back to Ashton Gorek. I do want to apologize again, Ashton, if I carved up your name. I'm not smart. Let's go to Ashton. He says this Rico is going to go crazy as number 2. I couldn't agree with you more. I think with Jalen and like I said, Mike, if these two guys stay healthy, look out, man. Again, especially behind this offensive line, and
and the way those two can run with power, and they're similar builds. I think Rico's 5'11", Jalen's 5'8", and they're about like 215-ish. I think Warren lost some weight, but I think he's still going to maintain that power. They can just wear teams down because if they don't give a fuck, they will run you over. They're not going to try and dance away from you. They're going to try and bowl you over. Then later in the game, after you're beat down, they'll run you over some more, or then that's when they'll run around you because you're so fucking worn out.
And a couple of things, Mike, about, just being a physical offense. You got both of these guys are both bruisers. And then you got a tight end who's a monster who, he could run people over like a fucking video game. And then you got DK Metcalf who throws, Minkah Fitzpatrick to the ground on his way to the end zone. This is where I think, Mike, they were talking about last year, kind of turning into that bully mode. And I like that, Mike. So even with the new coaching staff, it's the idea stayed the same with the players and with the GM still being in place. And I like that. I like the fact that they carried that over because, Mike, the moves they made this year, I think, allows them to be that bully team that they want to be again. And then if the defense plays to their level and does all the things that we hope they could do, Pittsburgh could be a pretty damn good team when it's all said and done. This is why I'm giving them wins in January this year, Mike. I'm not just giving them an improved record. I'm not just going to go. I'm saying this team wins at least one, not one. I'd say this team wins 2 games in the playoffs this year. That's where I'm going at this point on June 10, 2026, Mike. I say this team at least wins 2 games in January. I don't know how you're going to fall with the buys or with whatever. I'm just saying this team finds a way to win 2 games. They're going to surprise a lot of people, and not in Steeler Nation, they're not. But outside of Steeler Nation, they're going to surprise a lot of people.
And I love how you brought up, like, that's what the last regime wanted to do with the bully ball. They're keeping that organizational philosophy. And McCarthy's smart enough, wise enough, and, able enough to suppress his ego enough to go, okay, hey, this is what you want. I'm going to build my offense that way. I'm going to build my team that way, and still have the bully ball mentality, but we're also finding those bullies on the outside that can go get the ball. How I want to play. And this is why every day the McCarthy hire makes more and more sense because a young coach would want to come in and show the boss, like, no, I know better than you. But McCarthy's, like I said, you're wise enough to go, I know how to wrinkle in what I need to do to get to what you want done.
All right. Couldn't agree more, man. Let's drop some more on the board. Let's go right here. I'm sorry. Mark Malone says Magnum may force their hand. Tyrone says, yes, sir. We got to keep that up. Mark Malone follows it up by saying, yeah, man, no black and gold colored glasses. I think this team is a contender. And how could you not? Again, at the end of the day, just logically looking at it, as a team that had a lot of holes last year, before we filled them this offseason with free agents and with rookies, this team still managed to go 10-7. This team still managed to win the division. This team still managed to go to the playoffs. This team, so at the end of the day, again, logically, it's not going to be bad. It should be an improvement. So again, guys, I think Steeler Nation knows that, and it'll take the rest of the country to see that. But you know what? I think it's going to come. And again, nobody's looking great in the division. And as they always beat the drum on this Baltimore Ravens preseason, this team's going to be the team that wins the division. This is kind of fading into the background. A lot of times you do see a lot about Baltimore. This year, not so much. The most recent thing I seen about Baltimore was they're having a hard time getting their defense together still. So again, just more encouraging news. On top of, people talk about a difficult schedule. It's difficult because these teams are all NFL, but in the big picture, this is an easier schedule that the Steelers could have, even having that first place schedule, because you're still getting that NFC and AFC South divisions. And in my opinion, they're the two weakest divisions in the league. So again, things that could play in the favor of the Steelers. I'm not including, of course, the Houston Texans are going to be very good. I know Jacksonville is going to be highly competitive, and Tampa Bay, who knows what's going to go over on in the NFC South. They have Carolina, who's improved last year. The Saints, who were improved last year. The Falcons are the Falcons. We'll see them in week 1. And then also, again, as I mentioned, Baker and Tampa Bay. But in my opinion, this is so much easier than having a Philadelphia, a Dallas, that schedule, San Francisco, the Rams, that schedule. I'll take these South divisions any day. And again, just the way it's all playing out, Aaron's going to want to go out with a bang. So things are kind of set up, I think, for our Steelers to have success moving forward, at least this year. Let's continue on the board. I'm going to go right here to Mark Malone. Mark says this. He follows it up by saying, then you have Johnson, who can just impale them, and he's got to have himself a great preseason. He's got to. Speaking of which, Mark, on that video of the Three River Stadium, did you see the little stab at Deontay Johnson? Which was another part I thought was funny that stuck with me. Again, do check that out. There was a little stab at Deontay Johnson in that video. Go check it out on Discord. Let's go right here to Ty. Ty says we improved the roster. What we needed, I think the ceiling is 13-4, the floor 11-6. And you know what? If you're right, we're going to be in good shape. And I think you're right. I do think you're right, Ty. And I think that this is where it's going to be. Mark Malone says, yeah, dude, I'm right there with you. Tortilla says, if DK and JPJ learn how to catch this year, we might not lose a game. Somber, he says, this floor is 11. That's a very positive outlook. I like it. Let's go here to Tyrone. Ty says this. Well, we did win 10 with Smith as an OC and one wide receiver, which is a hell of a good point. That is a hell of a good point. Let's go to Somber. Somber says this. He says, yeah, we'll see. McCarthy's record is in his first season with the team hasn't been great. I'm hoping he breaks that trend. And then finally, let's go right here to Ty. Ty says this. He says, yeah, true. I will say he didn't have a roster like this in his first year, too. This is a good team. And Mark Malone says, oh, yeah, I did with that Deontay Johnson. I love it.
Really. I put the headset on. I come back.
Mike,
all I hear is Deontay Johnson. Video. It's someone trying to get us to fight.
Mike, you got to listen to me. Mike, if you go over and watch that Three River Stadium video, you're gonna again. There's just they throw a little stab in there at Deontay at one point, and again, just something that stuck with me. Again, do go check it out. Even if you pull it up on YouTube here, or if you go to the Discord, I think very interesting if you are a Pittsburgh fan. Let's get into some things, Mike. Again, I still have my big topic I want to get into, but before we get to that point, just a few more things from camp that I do want to talk about. Mike Weegan has been a bit underwhelming. Of course, draft pick out of, yes, the big returner, Mike, in the draft this year. This was the one name that I'm hearing that there's not a lot of positive at this point. I know that Eli is impressing, but the other little white guy on the team, Mike Weegan, he's a bit underwhelming as I'm reading about OTAs.
I don't like that, man. If you have two little white guys on the team, both of them have to be good. You can't just have one little white guy out there. The formula is two scrappy little white guys. So Weegan's got to step it up. But, it's early in the process. He didn't play a whole lot of receiver in college. He was primarily a returner. And, I bet they're probably focusing a lot of his time at OTAs working with the receivers.
Let's also go right here to Let me grab a couple of these messages real quick. Somber says, "Who said I will look it up for you again. I don't have the source on me. I have it in my notes, but I can certainly look that up for you and let you know, Somber, for sure." And also Tyrone says, "I haven't heard that." Okay, I will have to look at it. Maybe as Mike takes a segment here as we come up, I will go check that source out. But I do want to talk about these other couple of things first. Before we do that, Mike, Everett, he's also not only getting work, Mike, at corner, he's getting work on the outside corner, he's getting work on the inside corner. Dalen Everett, Mike, looks like he's really going to be a piece to
Yeah.
the secondary. They have confidence in him, but again, on one hand, they are putting a lot of different people at different positions to make sure that people are going to be versatile on this team. Dalen Everett getting reps on the inside, the outside. Again, Mike, you got to be happy with what's going on with the Steelers secondary. This might be one of the nicest Steelers secondaries I've seen, certainly in my adult life.
Easily one of the best secondaries we've had in a long time. I'm trying to think of a secondary that would have been as good. Maybe Carnell Lake, Darren Perry, and Rod Woodson, and Dion Figures. That might be the last one that I would say was a great secondary all around. Yes, we've had Troy, but he was just Troy, and the other guys were well below that level. Right now, these guys are all playing at high levels, and if Everett, man, he is what I've read as being the guy, as the star of training or of OTAs in minicamp. Of they ask him to do anything, he is doing it and doing it at a high level. There's talk of him already pushing Asante Samuel Jr. for playing time this year. That's huge because he was, when healthy, Asante is no slouch. He was a really good corner before the injury, came back, played well too for us. So if Dalen Everett is pushing him for playing time, we hit a home run for him. He was a third-round pick, I believe. Talk about hitting it out of the park. This is how you build great teams. Yes, your first-round pick, you want them to hit up all the time because that's usually the better player. But if you hit those guys in the second, third, fourth, fifth round, that's where you build your roster. Because you can't get every whole field in the first round. So if you start hitting on these guys in the third round, look out. Herbig was a third round pick. Washington was a third round pick. Keeanu Benton a third round pick. JPG a second round pick. There's great value. Mason McCormick with a fifth round pick. Great value in the middle rounds from Omar Khan, and it seems to be continuing with Dalen Everett. Man, it's going to be awesome to see him play. That's one of the guys I'm most excited to see.
Yeah, I am too, man, for sure. Again, it seems like it's going to be a big improvement, a big help for our secondary.
Yeah, you're right, Trevor. He was fourth rounder. My bad. I forgot. Yeah, because I started listing off all the third round picks in that draft. And wait, we only had 2. We didn't have 3. Thank you.
Let's also go right here with this, Mike. I do know that I had some scoop here, and again, this isn't going to happen. I think that we were already convinced ourselves and have been convinced. I don't think that Alex Highsmith is going to be moved this season, Mike. I think this is going to be a 3. They're going to be running with the big 3, which I'm okay with. Again, I think the chance to get nice production and nice results from that is going to be a lot of fun, Mike. But as we do know, the 4 teams right now that are being considered landing spots for Highsmith are the 49ers, the Eagles, the Buffalo Bills, and Washington, Mike. 3 teams from the NFC, 1 team from the AFC. These are the 4 teams that are being mentioned as Alex Highsmith landing spots right now.
Out of those 4, I'd send them to Washington because I think you'd have the better chance of getting the better draft pick. If the most you can get is a second rounder from those teams, I have a feeling like Washington would be the one to go to. I think the NFC is so tight, and I think they're going to have trouble maybe even winning that division because they have to play the Eagles, and I think the Eagles are a better team right there. If you're looking at it from draft capital standpoint, Washington would be the spot, but like you said, I don't think he goes anywhere this year. I think next year he'll be moved or cut, and yeah, you're going to get less value out of him. But if you're trying to win this year, why not keep him around and see what you can do with him? You don't go half in, half out. Yes, I know we made fun of Kabuli for saying, they're all in. And we were like, no, dude, they've been building the team. And Alex Highsmith was part of that formula. And this three-headed monster was part of that formula. So why not run it for at least 1 year to see how it goes? And if he has a monster year, yeah, he might be good in the last year of his contract, but you can still, like, hey, man, he's having a great year. We have no problem bringing him back. If you want him, you're going to have to wait until the following year. So that price could go up.
All right, let's do stick on the board. I did find this for you guys. This, of course, was the Athletics. Mike DeFabo said on his Yinzers podcast, he said he still needs to see something from Weegan. Mike also goes on to say that DeFabo underwhelmed by Caden Weegan's offseason showing. So, again, do whatever you want with the source, but that was, in fact, where I did get that information from. If you do want to look that up. Guys, let's get back on the board, though, so we could keep up with what's going on. Great to see everybody today. Welcome back to the show. It is, again, episode 980. Mike, just blowing our way through this offseason, getting to Steelers season, guys. It will be here before you know it, as we were just 95 days away from the ball getting kicked off in Pittsburgh against the Atlanta Falcons to start the season. Lindsay, I can't either. Believe me. You know what? I can't either. I can't wait either. Let's continue on the board, though. I don't want to get too far behind. Right around right here, I think, is where we are. Or at least close. Okay, I know where we're at. Tyrone says this. I was happy with the Everett pick. Other pods didn't like it. They are on board now. Yeah, I like it too, man. And again, you just never know. You never know what you're going to get. And again, to hear all this positive stuff, and they believe in him enough to be involved in all these different, playing inside, playing outside, challenging ASJ, just so many different things. You love to hear it. Yeah, especially a rookie coming in, Mike, because you just don't know. And I agree, Somber. I'm not a big athletic guy either. As I was gathering headlines, just something I saw that was certainly kind of interesting. Let's continue right here. Let's go down to Tortilla. RB said it. RB said it. Somber says definitely a deep CB group and an interesting safety group. I couldn't agree more. Again, go back to the Darren Perry, Cornell Lake, Rod Woodson, Dion Figures. I guess would be one of the better secondaries I've seen in my adult. And that was it was 30 years, 4 days ago that I graduated high school. 30 years, 4 days ago.
Damn, you're old.
Yeah, I am old. Ain't that crazy?
You're damn old, man. Gray Bush.
Yeah, that's it. Don't match the drapes, don't match the carpet. That's all I got to say. I'm just throwing it out there. Let's continue on the board right here. Let's go to Somber, LOL Tortilla. Let's go to Somber. He follows it up by saying, I heard Savage is making a name for himself. Everything I'm hearing about the secondary, again, corners, safeties, it's looking good. It's feeling good. Let's go down here to Tyrone. Herbig was fourth, even better. Let's scoot along. Let's go right here to Ty. Ty says, always got your back, Mike, 100%. Big dog. Ty follows it up by saying, I would love for a second and a fourth next off season. Lindsay, can't wait for full. I'm right there with you, sister. Believe me. Believe me. Yeah. Darnell Sasquatch. Tortilla says. Somber says Darnell Squashington. Sasquatchington and Squashington. A couple of things here, Mike. And then my big topic of the day, and we're going to get to in just a moment. As a matter of fact, we might be closer to it than I thought that we were. We went over a couple of things that we did. We went over Highsmith. All right, Mike, I do have my big talk coming up here in just a second, but I do want to say these few things. OTAs, Mike, they do wrap up. They'll be done tomorrow, Friday. The Steelers back at it. They're off today, and they'll be wrapping up their OTAs. A lot of the guys won't be needed and necessarily required to be back until next month when camp does start in St. Vincent College in Latrobe. They will be working together. A lot of them against, again, a bunch of guys getting together in Wisconsin. They're going to be working together in the meantime. And again, Mike McCarthy's new rookie school. This is going to be next week, and it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's going to be where rookies come and work on individual things. Your Drew Aller with his stuff, the whole way down the list. So again, that is going to be happening next week. And then besides for that, guys, the wait is on. It's time getting ready and waiting for that big camp, Mike, coming up at the end of July. It's St. Vincent College in Latrobe. I know Chris is coming up from Florida. I know that Steel Loyal's coming up from Carolina. A bunch of other people coming to town for camp this year, as they usually do. Derpy, who knows if he's going to be heading down? He usually makes his way down. So again, that's the next step. And then after that, it's preseason football. And once you're at that point, guys, you're almost there. So very excited about everything that's coming up. Mike, my big topic of the day is this. Most of the time, I agree with what Big Ben Roethlisberger has to say. I think he's one of the easy, hands down, one of the best Steelers ever. Certainly the best quarterback in Steeler history, even ahead of the guy that won 4. I do feel that Ben is, at the end of the day, better than he is, Mike. But there was something that was said over the past couple of days by Ben and agreed on by a big fat man that works in the media in Pittsburgh. So again, I usually do agree with Ben. I think he's a very smart guy. He's one of the better Steelers. He knows what he's talking about. You don't become a Hall of Fame quarterback by not knowing your shit, Mike. But this is something that I found a little bit disturbing, and you might even play devil's advocate against me in this situation, because we've kind of gone through this before. Mike, it was said on by Big Ben on his Big Ball and Footballing podcast, and also agreed by the big fat man in Pittsburgh. He agrees with this, Mike, that the Mike McCarthy OTAs and the Mike McCarthy camps might run the Steelers dry as the season moves along, because they are so intense. They're not lazy camps. They're chop, get to it. Let's hustle. To me, now here's my thing. These guys get paid a lot of money to be professional football players. And with a lot of money comes, you have to do things better than everybody else. Mm-hmm. You have to. Otherwise, why are you getting paid this kind of money? So if guys aren't going to be ready to play football in January because the coach made you practice hard a couple days in May, in June, that's a problem. Maybe you ought to bring down the average age of your team if this is going to be an issue. If you're going to be out of gas come December, January, because you had to practice hard in May, is a little bit ridiculous to me. Mike, Big Ben talking, of course, about just the way the ship is being ran so far under Coach McCarthy. He took out the benches. There's no benches. Listen, he's making them be football players. Let them be football players for once. Let there be something about their job that's difficult, that isn't all about fame, isn't all about glory. Because again, at the end of the day, guys are getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars to do this job that it's their childhood dream. And you're telling me they're not going to have the gas in December because they worked hard in May? Maybe you're in the wrong business for one. Mike, am I wrong here?
No. Now, if you're running a hard mandatory minicamps and OTAs, then you're running hard training camps and then hard practices, that's compounding. That I would agree with. And we've seen this happen in other places, like Tomlin's first year here. He ran a hard training camp and it gassed the team out, put the brakes on it, and then it's that second year the team responded better to it. But we're talking, like you said, we're talking May. We're talking June. We're not talking deep training camp right before the season starts. We're doing 3-a-days, hitting people in full pads. We're not talking mid-season doing full padded practices for as long as we're allowed to. We're talking a little bit more up-tempo OTAs. Like, he's not having these guys run 45 suicides before and after practice. They're just a little bit more up-tempo. We're taking the benches away right now. Okay. You signed up for that, okay? This is, like I said, you're not in St. Vincent with that sun beating down on you, your body being drained day in and day out. That's not that. This isn't the middle of the season. This is well before the season starts. And like Somber's saying down there, I hate to jump ahead in the comments, but yes, you have all the available body treatment services. Figure it out. Exactly. You guys know how to take care of your bodies. These kids coming out of colleges, some of them come from programs that probably have better nutritional programs than what the Steelers have and what some other teams have. You have that knowledge built in. You do know how to take care of your body. You should be fine. This OTAs should not have an effect on you during the season. Training camp, that's a different story because that's leading right up into the season and you run right through to it. that an argument can be made for that because coaches themselves have said, you know what, I kind of messed up. I had that training camp way too intense from beginning to end instead of ramping up the intensity to from the starting soft and then building up to it. That I can buy, that you can sell me on. But OTAs and mini camps, nah, bro, that's where you lose me. That's where you lose me.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something I know. One thing that I do know, sometimes we talk about Aliquippa High School here on the show. Maybe some people that are outside of this the area, they're not familiar with Aliquippa, but they are Hall of Fame high school, Mike. They are the high school that has the most NFL Hall of Famers right here, just down the river, Mike, in Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you, yes, it's high school, but you have to look on a scale it down, scale it up version. Look at it this way. I know that they practice harder than anybody else at Aliquippa. They kick these kids' asses, and they train them, they mold them into these great football players who go out and win every damn football game every year, ends up in the state championship. And guess what? When they bust their ass in July at camp to get ready to start school at the end of August, they start camp in July into August. I'm like, why are the kids at Aliquippa never so gassed at the end of the year? Believe me, these kids practice harder than any damn school out there. I'm very familiar with them. I grew up in the town right next to them. I'm like, these kids don't play around. The coaches don't play around. They treat these kids like adults. And you know what? When it's time for the state championship game to come around in December, Aliquippa is never gassed. Aliquippa is never complaining that they've run into a wall because they've practiced too hard. No, it's all about mindset. And at the end of the day, if a team was kind of going through an easier, let's call it easier OTA system in the past, of course this is going to seem intense. Of course it's going to seem extra strenuous. But at the end of the day, Mike, these kids scaled down. They're not pros. They work their asses off from day one till the state championship game. And you know what? They're just fine. Believe me, if you're paying me millions of dollars, I'm going to find a way to do what I have to do to be able to play as good in January as I did at the beginning of the season. And that's on you as a player. That's on you as a coach. You figure out how to get that done. I don't want to sit around and say, oh, you know what? This kid did play a little extra hard in May. They had a day that they didn't have benches. So I understand that they're not winning in January. Bullshit. It's bullshit. We have to get that mentality, put it behind us. If you want something, you got to work for it. It doesn't change just because this, it doesn't change just because of that. If you want something, you have to work for it. You got to play your ass off. And in my opinion, Mike, why Aliquippa works harder than everybody in day one, it still gets to the national or the state championship and wins. How this is any different? Get over yourself. It's football. Get back to hard football. Get back to playing football. Get back to the hard-nosed stuff. Get back to the physical stuff. The way football is meant to be played. Yes, I'm not saying we go back to the mindset of the 70s because, again, that time has passed. But there is an element that you could take from that. It's a physical. It's a mindset that, believe me, you watch teams playing in the Super Bowl. What did Seattle do very well last year? They hit hard. They were strong, hard-nosed football team. And you know what? A lot of people didn't expect the Seattle Seahawks to come on top when it was all said and done. But this team come out, they played their asses off, and they wasn't a bunch of teams that shorthanded things. Believe me, the way that team played in the Super Bowl, they didn't sit around all year on the benches. And so, again, Mike, for that reason, amongst other reasons, Pittsburgh Steelers, new start, new coach, new system. Let's jump on and get back to being a tough football team that people feared every time they came to Western Pennsylvania to play football before. Instead of making a joke out of our team, let's get back to doing the things that we do well. Let's get back to doing the small things right. Let's get back to being physical. Let's get back to just being more on top of shit. The little things, Mike, those things have to improve and continue to move in the right direction. And you know what? I think this is, as I always say, Mike, you have an opportunity to make the changes now because this is a situation where you can do that. You better get in there and make all the changes. Anything that you felt was wrong, anything that you felt that the team wasn't doing well enough, get in there now, make those changes, because if you don't, you may not get the opportunity again once the head coach is in his second, third, fourth year, because now he's getting familiar with guys. This is the year. You got to make your changes, get back on the horse, get ready to play good football, and you're going to find yourself in January with success again, Mike. It's going to be the difference. I'm telling you, again, I like what McCarthy's doing. As you're saying, Mike, if you're at the end of training camp and you're busting these guys, making them work over 10 hours, and the thing is, you're making them have an extra day of practice or something. This isn't like you're getting 10 hours of fucking overtime and you're out there. It's insane to me, especially at the price you get paid. You signed up for this business. It's your dream job. You wanted to be it since you were a kid. Get your head right. Get out there and play football the way it's meant to be done. Mike, now's the time for the change. I see it happening in small doses. I hope that continues. I think this makes the Steelers improve, and I think this puts us back in the game come the month that starts 2027. Like, I really do. Again, I predict that we win at least 2 games this year in January.
Yeah, and, it's not like they're padded practices. T-shirts and shorts.
Right.
T-shirts and shorts and a helmet.
If you're outside playing with your kids in the yard, you're getting a workout. So I mean, should we not do that as well? It's BS. It's BS is what it is.
It's like, like I said, all new coaches come in and they do these more up tempo. They do all because you're a new coach. You can have more practices, more sessions, so they all take advantage of that. And a lot of this stuff, they have classroom work. A lot of the time, you're sitting there learning the new terminology, learning your playbook, going over film. Then you're having 1 or 2 sessions out there. One in the morning, one in the afternoon that's available to the media, and that's more or less it. This isn't training camp. They're not beating their bodies up. They're not like how you hear of for some of the former Ravens players that were saying Harbaugh is having us do the most padded practices during the season, and guys were getting hurt because our bodies we weren't able to rest and get healed up midweek. We're constantly having those. Usually you have those after you have like a bad game or two, like, hey, let's get refocused. They're apparently doing it consistently. McCarthy's not doing that to these guys. We're having up-tempo practices. That's what every new coach does. And it's just like, I think Ben forgot that, how he started under Cowher and how he started under Tomlin. Like, they had up-tempo practices when they all came into league and when they all took over the Steelers because they wanted to set the tone of like, hey, I'm the new boss. I'm the one in charge. This is what we're going to do. And then, like you said, a couple of years, like every year you change and you monitor it as time goes on. But right now, when you come in, you want to get everyone in on the same page. I like what they're doing. I like that. I think
I do
perfect.
too.
And you're not hearing any of the players bitch about it.
You're
not hearing any of them go,
right.
Man, these are intense. They're saying, hey, man.
Or you're not seeing guys dropping like flies. Unfortunately, I mean, knock on wood, right?
But these guys are saying it's fun. It's up tempo. We're moving through drills. We're going. And it's not like, oh my God, we're just dragging ass. We're leaving here dead every day. We got nothing left. The next day we come in, we're practicing like shit because we're drained from the day before. It's like, no, they're up tempo and they're going well. Now, if guys were coming in like bitching and moaning, you might have there could be something there, Ben and Fat Guy.
You'd have to listen to what they were saying, obviously.
But no one is saying that. And now's the time. Now's the time to do it because you're in the honeymoon period. The guys are willing to do whatever you want. So take advantage of it.
A couple messages I want to get before we move along. Right here, Tyrone says, I got to go, guys. I'm leaving work early. My lip is swollen. I'm going to the hospital. Love y'all. Great show, you bastards. We love you too, Ty. Hope everything is okay with you, my man. Keep us posted. Let us know. Make sure you're okay. That sucks. Let's go to what's up, Steelers?
Sheiky baby.
Sheiky baby in the house. Yo, what I missed? Not too much, my man. Great seeing you, Sheiky. Always like seeing Sheiky baby on the terrible board, all the way from the Middle East, Saudi Arabia. Steelers Sheik guys, always great seeing you. Lots of things going on. It's OTAs, brother. We're wrapping that up this week. Got something extra for the rookies next week, but we're just waiting just like everybody else. But it's good vibes, my friend. Hope things are going well for you on the other side of the planet. Let's go to Somber. He says, yeah, suck it up, Buttercup. They all have all of available body treatment services. Absolutely. And here's the thing at the end of the day, Mike. I mean, being a football player it isn't just the 3 hours on Sunday. It isn't just the 17 games time 3 hours, 34. It's much, much more. It's all the preparation you put into it. It's all the work you put out. And again, if you're getting paid top dollar, multi-millions, I mean, come on, it's a lot of money. I expect to get that from my players, not only during those 3 hours or those 3 hours on Sunday afternoon. I expect to get that while you're preparing in every aspect of your position of your job. Because at the end of the day, if somebody feels that you're valuable enough to make millions of dollars to do it, I, as a fan, I want to see the guys making and earning that money. Because if not, Mike, why have you been doing it? If you're not trying to earn your money and work hard all the time, then you're just going to end up a mediocre player on a mediocre team doing mediocre things. Again, it's the people that put in that work, Mike. Again, that Seattle Seahawks team, they might not have been the best team. They were a damn good team. That defense stood up when it had to. The offense did what they needed to do. But at the end of the day, I could promise you they weren't slacking it when it was coming time to preparation and things like that. So, again, I'm on board with what's going on with our squad, with our coach, our team, everything like that. And believe me, I think that we're going to see dividends. I think we're going to see results when it's all said and done, guys, in January. I don't think we get knocked out after one game this year. I just don't. I think we're a better football team than that, for sure. Let's go to what's up, Steelers Sheik. See, keep baby in the house. Yo, what I missed? Not too much, my man. Great seeing you. Steelers Sheik guys, always like seeing you. Let's go here to Tortilla Jackson. Tortilla says this: the guys who are tired will be benched, and and another thing about the benches and everything, if the guys that are 40 years old are getting tired and they need a bench, maybe this is telling you something. I'm just saying, it's a young man's league. If I'm letting that dictate practice, the fact that my 37-year-old defensive tackle is tired, that's telling me something.
It's telling me he needs to work more.
Either get it together, show me that you could run with what's going on, or it's time to move on. I mean, that's common sense in my opinion. The twisting and the turning and the guy's almost 40 and he's having a hard time. He has to sit down and take breaks. That's telling me something. Well, you got it. Well, yeah, you got it. But you know what? Other teams are getting young guys to fill that spot, so they don't have to. So do what you want with the sentimental bullshit and just think to yourself, what's the teams that are winning doing? They're not keeping 40-year-old defensive tackles around. I'm telling you that. Just saying. Let me go back to Tortilla. Tortilla says this: the guys who are tired will be benched, and the guys who are playing will be ready and won't give up 299 yards rushing yards in a must-win late-season playoff game. My friend, I so hope you're right. I agree with you. Let's go down to Aaron Jade, my man. He says this: I have no idea what that did, but I sent it. LOL. You know what? I've been seeing that all day going on, and I think the Somber was doing it as well. I'm not sure either, but I've been seeing little GIFs flying around on my screen. Mike, I'm not sure. Maybe you could help us try to figure out what's going on.
It's just a YouTube thing, like Somber said, man. It's like sending gifts. I don't know what they are, how they work, what they do.
We appreciate
we do. We really do, but I have no idea how they work.
We're just learning it, man. Let's go to right here where Somber says it's a form of YouTube currency. Okay, so maybe, Mike, you'll come across that somewhere in all your work. But there you go, some of the gifts, which I see as I'm watching other things too. People give these gifts. I'm just not real familiar with it. Let's go here to Tortilla. But we do thank you. We appreciate it. Let's go to here to Tortilla. Tortilla says, Aliquippa fried chicken. They used to have a KFC up there. I don't remember if it's up there anymore. Somber says this: some people get free promotional currency or gift. Yeah, that's again. I just don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that. I'll read more into that today. But again, we do appreciate it. If it's whatever, man, we appreciate it all. Tyrone says I got to go. We did catch this one. We hope everything's okay with you, my friend. Let's go to Tortilla. Tortilla says, good luck, Tyrone. JPJ will sign when you get home. Watch.
So now, wouldn't that be perfect?
That would be perfect.
Or we trade him. After he had my back.
Tyrone is gonna he's gonna you know what, it's funny that I'm even gonna make this comment because I did watch a reaction to Friday last night, which I loved it because I loved the movie Friday. Whenever Ice Cube said that Red's gonna cry, he's gonna cry on the drive home. I can see Tyrone getting the news, crying in the car on his way home from the hospital.
Dude, that crash out, it will be top tier. We thought the Makai Lemon debacle crash out was top tier. I think if we ever trade JPJ, that crash out will be the greatest crash out of all time.
Lindsay, hoping Tyrone the best, as we all do. Hope things are good for you, my friend. Somber says, good decision, Tyrone. Hope everything is good. Let us know. Yeah, man. Keep us posted, dude. Let's go to Somber again. Somber says, this Colts wide receiver Alec Pierce, fresh off his 4-year, $114 million contract extension, might be sidelined well into training camp due to his off-season left ankle surgery. See, this is what I'm saying. Just things are happening on other teams, Mike, that aren't really favorable, and we are not running into these issues. Again, knock on wood, but so far, so good.
We're doing all right.
We're doing all right. Let's go down here where Somber continues on saying this: active duty military is 24 hours 7 and they get paid peanuts. Well, I listen, I'm never going to argue that. The players shouldn't definitely be held accountable. Yeah, absolutely, man. Let me grab that real quick. Football players shouldn't definitely be held accountable for their prep outside of the facility, in my opinion. Jamal, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Jamal on the terrible board. I hope you're having a good week. It's hump day, man. We're getting there. As OTAs wrap up the end of the week, and then we have rookie school next week. A brand new thing put in by Coach Mike. Rookie week, rookie school. He's calling it.
Rookie school. I can't wait.
Hope things are going good for you, my man, Jamal. I know it's got to be. I know it's got to be getting hot in Texas. It's hot in Western PA. If it's hot here, it's got to be hot there. Somber says this: you can use real money to buy them, but most people have them from a promotion thing when they started the gift program. Okay, we appreciate it, man. Again, it's probably something awesome. I see it happening. I'm just not really. I'm not really hip on it yet. I got to learn a little bit more about that. That all that stuff. Mike Somber says that's all I really know. Aaron J says thank you, Somber, and Somber should not got you on that revision, Mike. But so that's my big beef of the day. I see some people are talking still. I putting the show together this morning. I see people talking about the Makai Lemon situation and getting taking advantage of in the draft. And I can't believe people are even still talking about this, to be honest with you. But believe it or not, this is something that I seen this morning. I felt that this conversation here, Mike, what Ben is saying, and then what again the fat man in Pittsburgh is agreeing with. And again, I can't imagine the fat man really doing anything extra strenuous in his life, maybe besides racing somebody down the hall for an extra donut. But besides for that, Mike, this is not the guy that I'm going to take information off of, as he agrees with Ben that maybe working hard in May is going to make our guys be hitting a wall in December and January. I don't buy it, not one bit.
You have over a month from now till training camp.
Yeah.
Like I said, if your last couple weeks of training camps are insane and you're pushing them to the limit and they have a game in a week and a half and then you're having intense practices, come talk to me then about it being too strenuous and not having the body ready. You have over a month. You're not racing the Tour de France right now, guys. Okay, you're not riding a bicycle for 21 days, over mountains. You're jogging in t-shirts and shorts. Settle down, Big Ben.
I agree. And like I said, I usually agree with Ben a lot of the times. I think that he makes a lot of sense. And again, I take from his experience, as I would probably listen to the GOATs. I would do the same for Tom Brady and Jerry Rice and every other great player that's came before him. And just sometime, I'm just not going to agree just because he's who he is. I think he's wrong in this situation. And I think the fat man, again, just running in his fat mouth. So there you have it, Mike. That was my big topic for the day. What about you? What do you got going on? Where are you at with camp right now?
I'm like I said, I'm loving the way camp went. I think it's going great. One interesting thing I saw, I'm going to fan the flames of the Will Howard, Drew Aller debate. There's video going around of Aller and Howard running this drill. Howard does it first. McCarthy's just sitting there watching it, just standing up straight watching. The minute Drew Aller drops into the quarterback stance, you see Big Mac drop down, hands on hips, complete focus on Drew Aller. Now, I'm not saying anything, but body language tells you a lot of is he more invested in one, or does he know
I don't think he
the
is.
one needs a more prep time than the other? So I'm going to pay more attention to make sure he's doing the little things, whereas I know the other guy has been here and is doing the little things. And I think it's more of that right there of like, hey, I know Will Howard's been here a little bit longer, more polish coming out, so I don't have to have my laser focus on him. Whereas this young kid, I gotta be in on it because he needs 100% more work.
What it is.
So that was like a big thing I saw online of people were fighting about it. Like, this proves Will Howard's going to have to fight for a spot. Yes, to me, I find that funny because, he's the Ohio State guy. But the reality of the situation probably is one needs more attention than the other. But it was just so funny to see because you're watching the clip of the two, and then you see like that flash in the background. So I had to rewind it and watch it. Like, holy shit, he like gets locked in. Now, you can read it one of two ways, but I think it's just the one needs more attention. But it was fun to watch everyone freak out about it, watch Steeler Nation argue about who's better, who's worse. Like, guys, they're both a ways away from starting. Let's tamper down here.
And I do want to say this. I want to make my point. I just want to make this point, Mike. I am not against. And again, I've read what's been being said on the board and around the internet, of course. If it was doable And I think if anybody was able to make it doable, it would be Omar Khan. I would not be against Baker Mayfield at all. Mike, I think that he is somebody's franchise quarterback. I think he's very capable of being that quarterback. I think he's very capable of getting a lot of things done, especially on a team, Mike, that might be prepared for just a quarterback to come along as the Steelers have been building to be. Now, we've been saying the guy out of college, is he going to be the face? Is it going to be, we're going to get somebody from this draft class, next year's draft class to make them the face? Mike, it might be, again, only 30 years old. Baker Mayfield could very well be a face of football. You got to remember, Mike, he's the only damn person that took the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs and got a victory in the past 40 years. If that don't say something, and you got to remember, Mike, they get a lot of high-end quarterbacks through the draft, and as well, Mike, down in Tampa Bay, losing, I think, they lost Mike Evans to San Francisco or something this year. He's not, come on, it's not the most ideal situation for him, but guess who does have a pretty damn good team who's just a quarterback away from, in my opinion, being a very, very good team, top team in this league. Mike, I'm not against Baker Mayfield at all. If anybody can make it happen, it would be Omar Khan. And then you still do have the young guys learning underneath of him. The future, again, putting yourself in a position that the Packers put themselves in a lot of time by getting the young talent while having somebody there that's a productive quarterback. I have no problem with Baker Mayfield, Mike. If it happens that way, I might just buy a Baker Mayfield jersey when it's all said and done. But again, Mike, with the younger players, not quite there, but a lot of talent there, that could be quite a nice follow-up with some kind of a Baker Mayfield run. And again, at the end of the day, Baker Mayfield wins a lot of football games and not always the most ideal situations either, Mike. Carolina, he looked good. That team was terrible. Cleveland, he won playoff game. That team is Cleveland. And obviously Tampa Bay never has done anything under anybody except Tom Brady, and then the big run, of course, back in the early 2000s. So now losing again Mike Williams and Mike Evans. Just, again, Mike, we are just a quarterback away. He might just be looking for a team that's just a quarterback away.
And, if things don't work out in Tampa, I'd love to have him. And, the salary cap is kind of tight. But like you said, if there's one man who can figure it out, it's Omar Khan and his staff. I would trust them to make this move and find a way to work. That's not my problem to figure out. That's their problem. I think it would be a great move. And, Ryan, guess what phrase I heard on the radio today?
What phrase did you hear?
Full phrase sentence. This team, they've been building a team until they can find their quarterback. Who has been saying that for years? Not to go off on a rant and a tangent here, but you and I have been the only ones ever since Colin and Weedle came in here. I think it was after year 2. We were like on that train of leading the train of that thought of this team is actually, look what they're doing. How they're building.
I got to tell you this: if you want to hear anything that's going on in the up to date Pittsburgh sports media, just go watch our old show.
Yeah, they're about from 2.5 to 3 years ago. You'll be caught up with what's going on in local media. It was just so funny because it was a former NFL GM who's on a certain program every Wednesday, and I've never heard that phrase uttered on that program by him nor anyone else till now.
It's odd. Again, it's
not saying, just saying that it's coincidental.
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of that. Again, go check out a lot of these shows, and again, Mike, the things that you do here is stuff that you would have to go back quite some time, and we've been saying for a long time. But you know what, little old us.
What do we know?
What the hell are you going to do?
What do we know?
What do we know? What do we know? I do want to go here to Somber. Somber says, yeah, because Aller needs more work. And they both do. Again, I think that they both are still very, very early in the process. And this is why, like I said, I think somebody like a Baker, again, like, who knows? Baker might come in and do great, and people start renegotiating, reconstructing contracts to make things work, and you can make it work. And again, if anybody could do it, Omar Khan, I have confidence, Mike. He's been awesome so far, in my opinion. I think Omar, as Tortilla is saying, is doing the math right now. And Omar, I trust certainly at this point, Mike. So again, we will see. I don't hate the idea of Baker Mayfield. Again, I always thought he was fiery. I always thought he was competitive. I always put him in the same category as Brett Favre. That's just me personally. But when I watched Baker Mayfield, that is what I remember seeing from Brett Favre. Just fiery, competitive. He's got skills. He's got game. And again, he is the only player to come along out of all that list of high quarterback draft picks, Mike,
Mm-hmm.
since at least the last quarter century. The only one that had the Browns finish above the Steelers, had the Browns win a playoff game. The fact that Cleveland effed that up is beyond everything that's laughable, Mike, because at the end of the day, it is very Cleveland Brown-like, but boy, did they really F themselves, in my opinion. And then again, Mike, when this season, just a few years later, you get rid of the defensive coordinator that has your defense top three defense throughout the season. This is just what the Browns do. This is why I'm confident that the Browns aren't going to gain any ground. If they win a couple more games a year, who cares?
Yeah.
Really, Mike, they're finally getting more than 2 to 5 wins a season. At some point, law of average is saying that that's got to happen. So whatever, Browns suck. If we take care of that situation, and let's say Baker comes here and he beats the Browns twice a year, that would be just fantastic. Again, not because I'm worried about what the Browns do, just because they're just such fuck ups. This would be the perfect next chapter to that book, Mike. Again, I have no problem with Baker Mayfield. I would like to see him here, especially if we don't see that piece in the draft, especially if these two kids aren't ready, especially, so at the end of the day, I wouldn't rule it out, not at this point. And if anybody could get it done, Mike, with reconstructing contracts, Omar Khan, I think, could get it done if he really wanted to. So that's where I stand with Baker.
And Baker, he's, let's call it $40 million is his cap hit this year. Aaron Rodgers' cap hit this year is 22.5. So I think both,
That's what I'm saying, man.
Baker's Mayfield, his contract probably like what, maybe 45 a year. So now also my camera goes out. I'll come back to that here in a second. But anyway, you have to find a way to get an extra $20 million for him, but then you have to re-sign everyone else. Omar, it would be very, 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 very difficult, but I would not rule out Omar Khan to make it happen.
I agree, Mike. I don't rule out anything under this leadership. General manager of Omar Khan, as I've seen him do many great things so far, Mike, and many things that would have never been done prior to this in my life as the Steelers. I like what he's doing. That's all the way I'm going to put it. Somber says this. He says, if somehow we manage to sign Baker, I wouldn't hate it, but I'm not pounding the table for him, and that's where I'm at too. I think it could be wildly beneficial for our squad. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to cry about it, and I'm not going to dwell on it. But again, I think it could be something special if Baker Mayfield became a part of our squad. But again, a lot has to happen between then and now. So we will continue to monitor that as we do scoot along. Guys, moving through this offseason, again, OTAs pick back up tomorrow as the guys are off today. It picks back up tomorrow and Friday. That wraps up OTAs. Once Friday comes around, most of the team goes home. However, the rookies will stay in town for Mike McCarthy's new rookie school. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, all the rookies will be back at it working on individual drills and such next week. And then also a lot of players, Mike, planning to get together, like Jack Sawyer and Riley Nowakowski. They're planning on going to Wisconsin to working out with TJ Watt and with Nick Herbig. So the guys are really focused. They're really in, Mike, this year. A lot of things are certainly positive and optimistic, would make you feel optimistic about a football team are going on. And again, Mike, not any preseason injuries, not any off-season injuries in the past. Of course, it's still early, but we've had to deal with a Roman Wilson rookie. We had to deal with a Troy Fatanu rookie season. We had to deal with Corey Trice rookie season. Every year it's been somebody, Mike, maybe this is the year we step away from the injury bug as well, and we don't have them problems. Again, still early, knock on wood. But at this point, Mike, a lot of things are going good for our Steelers, and I think a lot of fans, I think a lot of fans are optimistic, but I think there's a lot of question as well, which there should be. I don't think everybody should just jump on board and think everything's going to be great, but right now, Mike, I do feel that there's plenty of reason to be optimistic about our football team. And again, we're just a little over a month away from going to St. Vincent College.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic going in, and it's not a fake optimism. It's not a false confidence. Like, I'm really liking this team.
They're putting the work in on every level. Ownership, the GM, the players, the coaches. I'm not seeing any shortcuts being taken, and you got to
I like the roster we had last year. I like how we added to it, cut some guys out. Contracts didn't work out last year, and Omar Khan and Weedle, did what they did with this roster. I love the coaching hire. I'm loving it more and more. I was okay with it at first, but now I'm loving it more and more. So everything they've done, man, this offseason has just been a home run for me. And why people in the national media and even the local media can't see that, it's just perplexing to me. It's like, are they just looking at who the head coach and who the quarterback are, or you're not looking at everything else around
exactly
them?
what they're doing.
It's weird.
That's exactly what they're doing, Mike. They're saying, "Oh my God, Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy, they're just blah 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 blah." At the end of the day, there's so much more to it than just that. And I'm excited. I think a lot of Pittsburgh as well, and outside of Pittsburgh, around the world, our Steeler Nation, of course, I think is excited about what's coming up, guys. As we do hit this part of the show, Mike, we are kind of rounding third here. Why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
Head on over to the DumYinzers.com. We got some of our blog posts and articles up over there. We got all of Ryan and I's social media links over there. And if this is your thing, if you like it, we got some 2Dumb Yinzer merch over there. We got the link to our merch store. So check it out at the2dumbyinzers.com.
Yes, guys, go check it out. Lots of cool stuff over at the website, www.d2dumyinzers.com. That's www.d2dumyinzers.com. Go check it out. Guys, let's get into the trivia question of the day. This is going to be about our topic of conversation throughout the first half of the show, Keeanu Benton. So put on your thinking caps. Everybody on the board, everybody at home, Mike, put on your thinking cap as well, as it is time for the trivia question of the day. Here we go. Did Keeanu Benton have more sacks in college or with the Steelers so far? Question of the day. Did Keeanu Benton have more sacks in college or with the Steelers so far? Take a minute to think that over. If you think you know it, if you don't think that you know it, have a guess. Throw it up. Either way on the board is just as well. Guys, as we are live, we're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 3 o'clock p.m. every day right here on Tube. Tortilla jumped in early on that. And Mikey's saying college. He's saying he had more sacks in college. The question of the day is, did Keeanu Benton have more sacks in college or with the Steelers so far? That's the question of the day, guys. Again, if you think you know it or if you have a guess, do throw that up on the board. I like to just see see where we're at. Somber saying with the Steelers, I guess. No, go ahead. That's all I'm asking, man. If you have a guess, throw it up. If you know it, if you think you know it, throw it up there. Mike, what is your thought process on this particular question? Did Keeanu Benton have more sacks in college or so far with the Steelers?
This is a tough one. I'm not sure. He had like 7 in the pros, I think. Damn. Played nose. I'm
gonna give you a hint. It's only a 1.5 sack difference.
I'm gonna it's coin flip. Fuck it. You know what? My boy Tortilla, number 1 on the friend list, went to college. I'm going with college.
All right, so that's your final answer. All right, I probably helped out more than I should, but I'm going to lock you in on that, Mike. You were saying in college. We'll give it another moment or so, guys. Do throw your answers up if you think you got it, or just guess if you'd like on the board as well. Again, the question of the day is, did Keeanu Benton have more sacks in college or with the Steelers so far? Where did he have more sacks? Some are saying, oh, wow, probably college then. But yes, there's only a 1.5 sack difference. So do what you want with that, guys, as you try to figure it out. Did Keeanu Benton have more sacks in college or in the pros so far? Mike is saying in college. Sommer might switch it up then. He might change it up to college. Tortilla is saying college as well. Tortilla said it's a trick question. Is it a trick question? It's not. It's not a trick question. There is one ultimately has more than the other by 1.5. Whichever way that goes, whatever he did in college, you may or may not know. 1.5 sack difference on the 2. Guys, this is the answer to that question. Here we go. Did Keeanu Benton have more sacks in college or with the Steelers? Mike, 1.5 sack difference. As you know that he has 7.5 sacks with the Steelers so far. He's had 1 in his rookie season, 1 in his second season, and 5.5 sacks last year. That's a total of 7.5 sacks for Keeanu Benton. And Mike, in college, he had a total of 9 sacks. 9 sacks in 4 years of college, 7.5 sacks in 3 years in the pros. He could end up with roughly the same amount, Mike, depending on what he does this year. So that is the answer, guys. College, 4 years of college, 9 sacks. 3 years with the Steelers, 7.5 sacks. There you go. Great job to everybody. Nailed that one. College, he got more sacks.
Thank you, Tortilla. I would not have known the answer without you. That's why you're number one.
Sommer said, yeah, that hit definitely helped. Mike, your thoughts on today's show?
Oh man, don't go spending big money on Keeanu Benton. We need to save that money for JPJ. Let's see how he does this year. Because like you're saying, man, the sack and a half more in college than in the pros. I want to see what he can do. He disruptor, but can't finish the plays. Man, I like him, but not married to him. As I think Somber is saying, like you like him, but he's not a guy you're going to pound the table for.
Exactly.
Like YaYa Black, if he develops, this is why you keep drafting and develop on certain positions, so you can let someone go. And this would be the perfect time, because if YaYa Black shows he can play this year, okay, Keanu, you're out. YaYa, you're in. That's just my thought on that.
So again, as we start to wrap up the show, guys, OTAs tomorrow, Friday. Then that wraps up OTAs. Everybody goes home except for the rookies. Mike McCarthy's new rookie school next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday keeps the rookies around for 3 more days to go over some individual work and things like such. And also, we do know that a lot of the guys that are heading home, they are planning on getting together and working together, especially this group of Wisconsin Badgers, Mike TJ Watt and Nick Herbig and Roman Nowakowski is going to be going, and also even the Buckeye Jack Sawyer is going to be making the trek up there as well to work with the guys. So a lot of things going on now for our Steelers. Never seems to be a dull moment, and I like that. I truly, honestly do. So that is what's going on with the squad as we do move forward. I do want to say this, a couple things before we do wrap it up. I have something very important. Let me grab Tortilla real quick. How many years did he start in college? I'm not sure, but I did notice this, Mike. All 3 years in the pros, he played 17, 17, and 17 games in his 3 years in the pros. So again, say what you want about Benton. He's available.
And that's the best ability half the time, man.
Availability.
He's there game in, game out, man. You're not going to knock him for effort, man. And I just want to, if he starts finishing plays this year in the backfield for how quick he gets there sometime, I will be like, yeah, let's find a way to keep this guy, and let's find a way to move on from someone like Cam Hayward.
Tortilla says from 19 to 22. Yeah, that's exactly. I couldn't quite figure it out either. And I just do, as I said, I noticed 17, 17, 17, all 3 years in the pros. That's a plus for me, Mike. Availability is a huge, one of the best abilities to have as a pro, any sport player, to be honest with you, Mike. So that being said, I do want to say this. I have a very important message that I do want to touch on today, guys. Again, I'm watching the same thing everybody does on TV, and I think what's going on in this world is kind of fucked up in a lot of ways. But yesterday, I'm watching this verdict for this kid and this other kid that one kid killed one another. Can we just stop fucking killing each other? I don't care what the fuck color you are. It doesn't matter. Can we just fucking stop shooting each other and killing each other? How fucking stupid. I'm getting sick of seeing it. And who gains by any of this shit? The victims don't gain. The suspects don't gain. Everybody loses when it's all said and done. I know everybody wants to get away from the what do they call it? The testosterone, the whatever that they're trying to weed out. Go outside and fucking fight somebody. Fist fight somebody. At least you can still fucking have a life to raise your kids and live your life. You get one of them. Just stop fucking shooting each other. I don't care who it is, what side, what color, what team. It doesn't matter. Just fucking stop. It's so fucking stupid what's going on. So it's unnecessary. Unnecessary entirely. You might get your ass kicked in a fist fight. Who cares? At least you're not in the fucking ground or in a prison for the rest of your life. So that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to touch on that. And Somber, you know what? Maybe that is. And the alternative is to fucking take somebody's life, which is it's stupid. And again, this isn't saying anything one way or another about the incident that happened yesterday. This is my overall view. If it would have been the opposite way, I would still have the same opinion. Just fucking stop, people. Come on. Come on. We could do better. With that being said, again, let's get into a few things, Mike. The Pittsburgh Pirates back at it tonight, trying to save themselves in this the Los Angeles Dodgers series. Game 2 tonight, 8:30. I'm sorry, 6:40 start. But also, Mike, tonight we do have a basketball game as the New York Knicks are up 2-1 on the Spurs. Game 4 is tonight at 8:30. I'm looking forward to that coming up. Let me grab a couple of these messages, Mike, and we are going to take a look at where we're at here. But I think we have a couple of people maybe responding to what we were talking about. Let me go right here. I do want to say what's up to Steel Loyal. Always great seeing you. I do know that he is the Canes fan from Carolina. What's up, brother? Great seeing you. Let's go right here. People suck. Yeah, for sure, bro. It just sucks. Families lose. The suspect loses. The victim. Everybody loses. Driven by ego, basically. Yes, absolutely, Songbird. It's you know, what do we got to do? What do we got to do to fix this problem? I don't know. Yes, go Canes. That's Mike's team. Obviously, Mike, I would have taken the Canes as well, but because of the show, I took Vegas. So I'm going to stay very competitive on that as the series is tied up 2 games apiece. They'll be back tomorrow trying to figure out who's going to take the lead in that particular series. Let's go here to Tortilla. But sometimes you run into some pretty cool. You do. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people are cool, but everyone's just so fucking hard. Everyone's got to be a hard ass. People you'll never even know, because people would rather have a dispute with you before finding out if you're cool. And unfortunately, I know how the fuck does that benefit anybody? I'll never know. I'm not perfect, believe me. I'm just saying, come on, we could do better. We can do better. I know we can. Let's go down here on the board. Somber says the inability to fight, and I agree. And that certainly plays a role. Somber pew pew is all they know. And I just always think to myself, why, after seeing your buddy die or seeing your buddy go to prison for the rest of his life, maybe this should teach us lessons. It's not for whatever reason, unfortunately. Tortilla, that's why I don't go out to bars anymore, because the amount of BS I'd get into was diabolical. Rather stay home and drink and listen to the 2 Dum Yinzers. And you know what? I agree with you, my friend. I'm the same way. It seems like every time I leave the house, there's some kind of incident. So I'm right there with you, believe me. And then Tortilla says, being a Steeler fan taught me how to not hurt people and hurt my TV. Just something to think about, guys. Again, I don't care who I don't. Honestly, between me and you guys, I don't care what side is what side. It just needs to stop. It needs to stop. It's sad. It's unfortunate. And again, we're educated just by general education. I think a little bit we should know better than to do these things. Where other places maybe you might not be educated. There's no excuse here. We're just being stupid. Pittsburgh Pirates tonight. That is a 6:40 start. Also, Mike, the NBA tonight. That's an 8 o'clock start. I do want to say these few things before we do get ready to roll for the day. The Duquesne Pilsner you see in the background, Mike, this is something that I always turn to, no matter if it's the NBA, if it's MLB, if it's the NHL or the NFL, Mike. We always love to have the Duquesne Pilsner here in studio. They are now available in 6-packs at 6-packs and 12-packs at Giant Eagle. Also, wherever cases are sold, the people at Duquesne Pilsner always take care of us, so we try to do the same for them. Swing by, grab some Duquesne Pilsner for your next event. If you're not a big drinker, that's fine. Swing over and check out their social media, Duquesne Pilsner, and hit the follow button, hit some like buttons. It'll certainly help them guys out over there. They certainly deserve it, as they do well for us. So we ask to do the same. In return, also, I do want to say this, Mike, you could check them out at their social media page and do that for them. But ultimately, we always have Duquesne Pilsner here in our studio, ready for any event coming along. Mike, delicious, nice, fresh, cold beer right here in the studio, made in Pittsburgh. It says on the can, grab a Duke. I do also want to say this while you are checking out a bunch of social media. Don't forget to check us out, guys. We are on every platform, I think. You could check us out on Facebook, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, even TikTok. Swing by, hit the follow button, and keep up with what's going on with the 2 Dum Yinzers on a day-to-day basis. And if you have not had the chance yet, do hit the like button down below. Hit the like, hit the sub, the share, the comment. It all helps us out, and it really pushes things through the algorithm, guys. So we do appreciate it all very much. Thank you. Michael, what do you expect to see in these last 2 days of OTAs, tomorrow and Friday, from the Steelers? What do you want to see? What do you want to? Who do you hope picks it up? What's your thoughts as the OTAs begin to round out?
Yeah, I want to see like you said, the both quarterbacks continue to develop. Let them get a lot of reps and a lot of work in. And I want to see the young receiver, Jeremy. I saw a couple videos of him yesterday. Not a whole lot. I want to see some. Hopefully, like some more stuff gets posted for him. And the reports out of him are still glowing. I want to see some more offensive lineman news, guys. Local media, step it up, because I'm trying to like source how well Max is doing, how well Dunker's doing. Not a lot of info out there, but from what I can gather, they're looking good. The video I've seen, they both look strong. They both look really quick and explosive out of their stances. So I just want everyone to get through healthy too, no injuries, and just everyone improving day by day. But it's get young guys a lot of reps.
And we will be back tomorrow at our regular time to get into that and so much more, Mike, as the OTAs do go through tomorrow and Friday. And then again, next week, we have Mike McCarthy, Rookie School. Brand new Mike McCarthy added this in, and the rookies will be in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday next week. And then that'll be it. And then it'll be waiting time to get to camp next month in St. Vincent College in Latrobe. A lot of good stuff coming along for our Steelers. Let me grab a few more messages here. Tortilla says this: in a few years, we're going to have a Mike Tomlin and a Stephen A. Smith political debate. Hey, you never know. You never know. Who would have thought 15 years ago, when George Bush was the president, that we would have what we have. So again, you just never know. It could be very, very well could be Stephen A. Smith and Mike Tomlin. Let's see what Steel Loyal says. That kind of sounds like a Saturday Night Live skit. LOL. Steel Loyal says Jeremy is smooth as butter, baby. Better butter. Tortilla says look for a major trade before camp. Mark Malone's trying to get some feathers ruffled here. Steel Loyal says this. Yeah, Mark Malone is going to get traded to the Browns. But do go check out the video if you haven't yet. Mark Malone put up a great video over on the Discord. I believe it's under the general category. It's about Three River Stadium. It's a few minutes long. Check it out. Well worth the watch. Again, Three River Stadium, like a lot of people didn't know, was built on an Indian burial ground. Also, Three River Stadium was meant to be open at one end to see the city. So a lot of different things I think that you guys in Steeler Nation will love. Check it out on our Discord. If you can't find it on here on YouTube, it is available. But if you can't find it, you can get it very easily over in the general category on the Discord. Check it out. I do want to say thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We appreciate each and every one of you, as always. Guys, we wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. I do want to say this as well. I do want to say thank you, everybody on the board. You guys always keep the show interesting, as you are the lifeblood of this show, guys. We couldn't appreciate you any more than we really do. We truly, honestly do. You guys are the bloodline of this show. Thank you so much for everything that you do. I want to say thank you to everybody at home or at work or at the gym or taking a walk or in the car or wherever you may be watching, listening. We thank you too. And again, we'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again, to get ready to exit Mike, the OTAs. Tomorrow, Friday, does wrap up the OTAs. And then, guys, it's already mid-June, so you know what that means. Just right around the corner. Let me grab a couple more of these. Yeah, Mark Malone is going to get traded to the Browns. Steele says, Yinzer Joe, great seeing you, brother. He's just in time to say what's up. And later, sorry I missed y'all today. It's all good, brother. You got to do what you got to do. I understand that. Folks are busy. Great to see you, though. Thanks for stopping in and saying hey. As always, Tortilla says, watch for JPJ to sign today. And for Ty's sake, I hope that does happen. Unfortunately, I think the Benton contract is probably going to be addressed first. But again, it's not, Mike, as I said, and then they said, and now I'm saying again, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter
exactly.
of when.
Yeah, it's going to get done. It has to get done, because if you don't, what the hell are we doing here?
I agree. I do think that's everything for me. I'm just making sure I'm not forgetting anything. Again, Buccos tonight. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again. Hopefully we get a lot of cool stuff to talk about through the rest of the week, Mike, as OTAs do wrap up at the end of the week. So lots still to go as we are mid-June, getting ready for the Pittsburgh Steelers football season upcoming. Mike, any thoughts, anything else before we do take off?
I got nothing, brother, man. We hit it all, man. But yeah, I'm just waiting for camp now, man. I want the pads popping, helmets cracking. I want to see some live action drills. I want to see corners and wide receivers fighting. I want to see offensive D linemen taking swings at each other. I'm ready for some Steeler training camp, because once you see all that fun stuff, you know what's right around the corner, baby. Thursday night football, which everyone can't wait for.
Yeah. Well, I tell you this, Mike. My. Of course, you know that I have no skin in this game, but my Knicks are going to beat your ass tonight as they take on the San Antonio Spurs, who Mike has through this series as well. This game is at Madison Square Garden. It's Game 4, 8:30. My Knicks, Mike, will be taking on your Spurs tonight, and also the Buccos. Again, we'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to talk about that and so much more here on the Two Dum Yinzers. Mike, speak now. I'm going to come around you. Speak now, and forever hold your peace, my friend.
Have a good day, everyone.
All right, guys, I do want to say this before we go. Again, if you have an opportunity to maybe help somebody opposed to hurting somebody, maybe take the extra step to do that these days. I'm just saying, something's got to give at some point. Be part of the solution, not the problem, everybody. Again, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. Guys, again, I want to thank everybody for being here. We'll be back tomorrow. Hope to see everybody then. For Finch, for Derpy, for RB, for Chop, for Mike, for myself. Everybody have a great day. Stay safe. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Have a great Wednesday, everybody. We'll see you in the morning.